Well, well, well. So the Cowboys have kind of shocked everybody. Or at least I believe the Cowboys have shocked everybody. The Dallas Cowboys have traded Osa Odighizuwa. Now, the funny thing is, I was talking about this last week and people thought I was absolutely crazy. But nevertheless, what I predicted pretty much came true. The Dallas Cowboys have traded one Osa Odighizuwa. But not only did the Cowboys trade Osa Odighizuwa, the Cowboys went on a roll, and the Cowboys also traded Solomon Thomas. Now, there were a lot of people that are trying to read the tea leaves. They're saying, wow, the Cowboys are up to something. The Cowboys are about to make a big move. I believe people believe maybe they were going to go out and go get Max Crosby. Well, we know now they're not about to go out and get Max Crosby. But nevertheless, are the Cowboys maybe sending us a different message as it applies to these trades? Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Just for you, it is Cowboys After Dark. Yeah, let's go. Cowboys After Dark. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, yes, we are live at midnight. As you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot more things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Man, let me tell you something. The Cowboys got active in ways today that nobody expected. The Cowboys got active, man. They really did. And where the Cowboys got active on day 3, the Cowboys got active as in offloading contracts. That's where the Cowboys got active. The Cowboys got active as in also, I believe, getting rid of a couple of players who maybe don't fit what they're trying to do. But there are a lot of people out there, they are reading a lot of tea leaves. And they are saying that the Cowboys are up to something. The Cowboys are about to make this big move. I mean, who knows? But let's kind of get to what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, we're going to kind of resume our conversation about the free agency so far. And then we're going to skip to, we will talk about the draft a little bit, but we're going to talk about the Osa Odighizuwa and the Solomon Thomas trade. Not only are we going to talk about those two things, we're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders have put together a very good free agency. We're going to listen to a piece on Rashawn Gary. We're going to talk about the latest on Max Crosby, and I do think it is pretty telling of the kind of person that Max Crosby is. And I'm going to tell you something. After what I've witnessed from Max Crosby, I'll tell you this. I definitely wouldn't have minded him being a Dallas Cowboy. Very high character guy. Very, very, very high character guy. So we're going to talk a little bit about Max Crosby. We're going to kind of again talk about trusting Christian Parker. But this is going to be what we're talking about tonight. Free agency so far, draft dependent, Osa Thomas, Washington Commanders, Rashawn Gray, Crosby. Man, let's go. Let's get it. Yeah, man, we ready. We got a lot of good things going. All right, let's get this quick roll call in, and then we're going to get started tonight. Loris Ennis, what's going on? Lolly in here, Logging D, what up? Ty Howard, what's going on? Jeremy Betts, what's going on? Let's see here. Bump TY5X with the 903 up at midnight. What's going on? Ramon Tellez. Ramonte Les. Somewhere in there. Raymond Tellez. I'm going to say that. All right, let's go. JCT Slice, what's going on? He said the Jones family is going to give us to drink. They raise our blood pressure, but again, I'm being patient to see what people do. We still have 4. Hey, we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. We're gonna have to accept it what it is. We got a long way to go before football start up again. So we're gonna be talking about things. We're gonna be overreacting to things. We're gonna be underreacting to things. It's all good. This is what the off season. Now that this is my second off season doing this channel, man, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Christian Legal, what's going on? Paul Whitted, Lisa Worley, what's going on? Ace Wade, what's going on? Ace Wade, good to see you. Randy Kessel, what's going on with you? Mark Davis, he said, I'm at work, but I'm in this thing, G. Yes, sir. Chris Dunaway, what up, Chris Dunaway? Mr. Get Dirty, yes, go in Memphis, Tennessee, let's go. Kevin Harper, what's going on with you, Kevin Harper? Lisa Worley, trust the process. I got something to say about trust the process. Trust the process, Lisa Worley. It's the off season. This Cowboys after dark. We can say whatever we want to say. I got something to say about the process. Hard Knocks, he said, called it right after the season ended. Knew they were going to keep KC and trade Osa. Makes sense. Makes sense. I talked about it too last week. You can just see the writing on the wall. Doomsday said, what up, G? PJ Locker's a good player according to the film. Go watch him. Yeah. But keep in mind, yeah, PJ Locker is a good player. I've seen some film on him. Sean Payton gave Brian Bronson a scouting report and gave him a thumbs up. Yeah, I listened to that today on the way to church. I listened to it today. Robert Simmons, what's going on? Franchise, what's going on? Antoine Bass, what's going on? He said he likes what Shotty is doing. We're going to talk about it. Randy Kessel, run it up. What's up? Posey up in here late night. What up, Posey? Kevin Harper, Mike McCain. What up, Mike McCain? Deion Jefferson, what's going on? L, what's going on? All right, man, let's get this thing going tonight. What's going on? Let's get this thing going tonight. All right. So I like some of the catchphrases that we use whenever we're going through some of these things in the off season. And I still say that the Cowboys are moving different in the off season. But I got to be honest with you. I'm taking a different approach to this. This year. I'm actually not going to get caught up in all of the trust the process. I'm not trusting the process. And the reason why I'm not trusting the process is because we continue to trust the process. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I said this last week, and I said it the week before last. Trust is earned. Trust is earned. I'm not trusting the process. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not trusting the process with the Cowboys. It's not about trusting the process. We've watched what this team has done for 31 years. They're moving different. So if you want anybody to trust the process, if you want anybody to trust you, trust is earned. Keep making moves consistently. Keep making moves consistently. Trust is earned. You trust the process when you've seen the process work. Trust is earned. When you see the process work consistently, you can tell people to trust the process. Jason Garrett got trust the process from Nick Saban. Jason Garrett did some good things, but the process didn't equate into success. The process did not equate into success. So I'm not getting caught up in all of the trust the process. No. Trust is earned. Trust is earned. You want somebody to trust the process? Show them success in the process. Show them success in the process. I'm telling y'all right now. Hey, it's Cowboys after dark. Hey, y'all know we gonna say what we want to say tonight. But how do you tell somebody to trust the process and the process hasn't worked in 31 years? You don't get to tell nobody to trust the process in the grand scheme of things. Do I trust that they're moving different? Yes. Do I trust that they're going to get some players? Yes. That don't mean, though, I trust the process totally. Why? I need more evidence. I need more evidence. James said it. Actions speak louder than words. Miss Matrix, I said I was coming back. I had to go ahead and come back tonight. I'm telling you, the Sandman was throwing sand in my eyes. I got a Mountain Dew over here. I didn't get a chance to make me no coffee. Angie said, I'm surprised, G, that you're not trusting them. You're one of the people that understands Jerry and the gang. You know something wrong when you're looking at them sideways. Well, Angie, just follow me on this. You got to continue. If you want me to trust the process, I got to see where the process ends. I got to see where the process ends. You got to give me some success in the process. You got to give me some. This is why when we talk about, for example, people keep saying trust Christian Parker. Angie, we're going to keep it real tonight on Cowboys After Dark. Trust Christian Parker with what? Trust him with what at this point? Do y'all realize what we're being asked to do? We're being asked to trust something that in actuality we haven't seen. Am I confident that Christian Parker is a great or is going to be a great defensive coach? Well, I believe this. I mean, he says all the right things. He's been with some great programs. He's a very smart young man. He seems to have a plan. All of these different things, but at the end of the day, we don't know what it is. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know. We're everybody is so high on Christian Parker. Do y'all remember what I used to tell y'all last year? Let me tell you about me. I don't let nobody build me up. I'm never disingenuous with God. I'm never disingenuous. I understand when and what God gives me, my ability. I bring that ability to the table through God-given talent. And whatever success it is, it's on account of God and the God-given talent. And so I never, in the grand scheme of things, I never let people build me up. Because when they build you up, they get to tear you down. If they build you, they can kill you. Man, I hear a lot of this Christian Parker, and everybody's high on Christian Parker. Cowboys got to get him the players. Bottom line, they got to get him the players. They have got to get Christian Parker the players. If they get Christian Parker the players, the job becomes easier because I think he has a good plan. If they don't get him the players, the plan is going to be harder even if he has a good plan because he won't have the players to execute it. And one of the things that we're looking at with the Cowboys, and I talked about this a few weeks ago, I noticed something that Stephen Jones was doing. Stephen Jones was basically saying that they believe they already have some of these superstar players, that the problem was Matt Eberflus. And so they're expecting Christian Parker to come in here with some of these players that we already have and say, now with your coaching and all this, make them into superstars. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what any of this is going to look like. So to ask me to trust the process, based on what? What am I trusting the process based on? Y'all remember this got old with Jason Garrett. We was like, oh, it's Captain Clapp. It's Captain Clapp. And you know, that stuff was all cool at first. That stuff was all cool at first. And then as it kept going on, we thought 2016 was the beginning of something great. And then until it wasn't. And then until it wasn't. So for me, the thing that I'm not struggling with anything now. I'm not really struggling. I just got to see what the Cowboys are doing. And understand this. Trust the process. Let me just give us reality. Sometimes people don't like this. Let me give you reality, though. Even if I don't trust the process, does it stop what the Cowboys are doing? Does it stop what the Cowboys are doing? People act like when you're talking about the progress, people act like when you're talking about the progression of the progress, you're doing something wrong. What are you doing wrong if you're talking about the progress of the process? Angie, I appreciate the compliment on the mic cover there. Angie, what's the problem in talking about the progress of the process? What's the problem? It's not that we're going to stop the process. We're just looking at where we are in the process. I've worked in sales a long time and worked in management. And let me tell you something about the process, people. Anybody out there who has result-oriented jobs, you can tell me about trust the process all you want to. Your boss is checking in on your progress in the process frequently. Now, I want us to understand something about the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a GM. The Cowboys have a GM that has the grace of never getting fired. The Cowboys have a GM who is never in danger of getting fired. He can experiment. He can throw away a season like 2024. He can make bad decisions in the draft. He can make bad decisions in free agency. He can continue to come back and say, trust, whatever they want to say. And 31 years, still isn't fired. I'm not saying this to say that Jerry should be fired. I'm not saying all of this. All I'm saying is that it doesn't matter who it is. There's nothing wrong with checking out the progress in the process. And so where we are right now is checking out the progress in the process. And if we're being truthfully honest with ourselves, I'll be honest with y'all. We're living on a lot of hope right now. We're living on a lot of hope. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Hope is fine. I think the Cowboys are showing some signs of they're going to do some good things. But for right now, Angie, let me tell you something. I'm gonna put a star on what you just said right here, and I'm gonna put something on. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna elaborate. I think you're making a great comment right here. What's going on, Angel Eyes? What's popping? Deion Jefferson said exactly, G. Any GM with Jerry's track record would have been up out of here. On any other team, the GM is already fired. On any other team, the GM is already fired, and Jerry has said as much. And that's why I'm saying, when people say trust the process, why do I have to trust the process? How about can I just say, let me monitor the progress of the process? Let me monitor it, because at this point, you're asking me to trust a process that has garnered no success. I mean, can I keep it real? What success has the process garnered? See, people don't understand. Nick Saban can say this. Nick Saban can trust or say, Nick Saban could say trust the process as much as he wanted to, because let me tell you something. Before the NIL came into college, if NIL hadn't came to college, Nick Saban would still be wrecking shop in college. He would still be wrecking shop. He would still be a top 5 powerhouse. He would still be winning national championships. Nick Saban would be almost ruling and running college football, because the process with no NIL, Nick Saban had a process that worked. Before NIL, Nick Saban could walk into your living room. If you got a 5-star or a 4-star recruit football player in your household, Nick Saban could literally walk through the front door and not even give you a whole bunch of fluff or anything, and say, "Sir, ma'am, do you want your son to be in the NFL?" "Yes, I do." "Let him come play at Alabama." Let him come play at Alabama. You can say that when, and you say, "Hey, well, what proof are you going to give me that my son is going to be in the pros?" Nick Saban would then be able to go through year after year after year after year after year after year of national championships, year after year, and he would be able to show you player after player after player after player after player who went to the pros based on his program. And so when Nick Saban would say, "Trust the process," you can trust the process. For us, when we say trust the process, what are we basing it on? What's the success to say we can trust the process? So when we think about this in the grand scheme of things, I just want to see what the Cowboys are doing. I'm just going to keep watching and see what they're doing. I want to give you some things that people are saying out here about this. Lil D Texas, he said, "We got 8 picks. Better hit or we in trouble again. Maybe one more year before playoff run." I'm seeing Lil D Texas. I'm gonna come back to your statement. I'm gonna come back to your statement, Lil D Texas, because this is kind of what people are saying. And I even alluded to this today. It seems like to me, if you really pay attention, the Cowboys may be saying, and we're going to see what they do for the next month, maybe 2 months, because we're going to be in April, May. So I believe by June, I think the rubber is really going to start hitting the road in June. But I think that there may be a message that the Cowboys are sending us, and we're going to see what it is, because I can tell a lot of folk are expecting to wake up tomorrow and the Cowboys have made a huge move. Like the Cowboys are going to circle the block on a Max Crosby, I guess. Or I don't consider Jonathan Grenard a huge move. It may be a huge move for the Cowboys. I think it's a great move for the Cowboys. But I'm not sure if that's what the Cowboys are going to do tomorrow. But it seems if you go over here and you start looking at Bobby Belt is over here saying, "Yeah, the Cowboys, this seems like the Cowboys are getting ready for a bigger move." Well, guess what? The reality is this. I don't have to, let me see. This is Bobby Belt. This is Bobby Belt over here on X. Bobby Belt has got some people getting excited. Says over here on X, this raises my antennas more than the Osa trade does. Moving Osa and Solomon Thomas back-to-back feels procedural, like there's something else coming behind it. That's what he's saying. Not to mention, the Cowboys went and reworked Rashad, what's his name? They went and reworked Gary's contract to where it is less of a cap hit. And so the Cowboys have kind of put some money on the books. And so we got a lot of people, and they're out here saying, Cowboys getting ready for something big. Could be true, could not be true. I'm ready to see it. You know, sometimes people don't understand. You don't have to trust the process, but you still got to sit back and wait. Whether you trust it or not, it doesn't, it really doesn't matter if you trust the process. I mean, I know we use catchphrases and slogans to keep ourselves motivated sometimes. I get what we're doing. I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is, even if I don't trust the process, I still got to wait and see what the Cowboys do. And as I wait and see what the Cowboys do, I'm not going to get mad if they're not doing what I'm not going to get mad if they're not doing what I want them to do. I'm just going to report on the progress of the process. If it looks good, it looks good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not going to change what the Cowboys do. And that's why I say we got to we're in the off season. I understand this game now. We're in the off season of the Dallas Cowboys season. We don't have to be mad at each other, hurling insults at each other. We don't have to be drawing lines in the sand and I'm done with you and I'm through with you. It's the off season. We got a long way to go. The Cowboys got a whole lot of things that they need to do. Whole lot of things that they need to do. He says, stop giving yourself a round of applause. Hey, if you're not going to give yourself a round of applause, who will? You got to understand how I operate. I don't worry about people hyping me up. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about people building me up. I don't worry about any of that stuff. I am who I am. I'm going to do the best job I can, period. Larry Golden said, G, good to see you. Sorry we got here late. Yeah, you're talking about the process in Dallas. As I said so many times, it's not worked in a very, very long time. It's got to change. Yeah, because you got to think about it. I mentioned this today, but Stephen Jones said something to Clarence Hill that is still stuck in my brain. Clarence Hill told Stephen Jones, because Stephen Jones and these guys, they keep on trying to use the New England Patriots and using the Seattle Seahawks as a benchmark or an example of saying, well, we can do what they did. You need to go back and look at what the Seattle Seahawks in particular did. Because Stephen Jones, you're in the NFC, and what you're talking about is you actually can't do what the Seattle Seahawks did right now. Because the Seattle Seahawks had 3 great drafts in a row. 3 of them in a row. Brand new coaching staff. On top of that, added some great free agent pieces. They caught a genie in the bottle. Everything materialized at the same time. So this would mean that in order for us to be like the Seattle Seahawks, then we would have to have some great drafts. We had one, I think we had a good one last year, but it's still going to take time to materialize. We haven't been so good in free agency. Last year in free agency, we did a better job of playing in free agency, but it didn't all materialize after free agency, after those players kind of got on the field. A lot of those players, they actually didn't pan out. Also, you got to win the battle of attrition. The Cowboys just can't seem to win the battle of attrition in the grand scheme of things as it applies to injuries. And so, again, when you think about the draft, when you think about the injuries, and then when you think about the free agency, and even when you think about the hiring of the coaches, the Cowboys are in the process of getting all of that together. So, unless the Cowboys go and do something otherworldly tomorrow, I think the Cowboys may be telling us something. I really do. And we're going to know this here in the next 2 to 3, maybe in the next month. I mentioned this today. I mentioned it last week. I think the Cowboys may be telling us that this isn't an all-in season. I think they may be telling us this is not the all-in season. Jerry has hinted at this, and now I'm like, hold on a second. I'm realizing that Jerry was telling us some stuff in that interview. Jerry said we're not going to put the pressure on Christian Parker. What do you mean you're not going to put the pressure on him? I think it's the expectations that they're saying that they have for him. I think it's the expectations that they're talking about. Angie said, gee, I don't think people realize that if we're being honest, it's not even Christian Parker we have to trust. Bigger picture is to trust Jerry and Steven will actually do right by us. Yeah. No doubt about it. All right, hold on a second. Yeah. Angie, you cooking. You cooking with bacon.
Let him cook.
You cooking. I'm telling you. Because at the end of the day, trust is earned. Jerry, I said it last week. I said it the week before last. Jerry has to keep doing things that make people trust him. He has to keep doing things that make people trust him. That's how you earn trust. It's like that in every relationship you have in your life, whether you realize it or not. Everything you do earns the trust of the people around you. For example, if you are a person that manages your money well, and you are a person that you pay your creditors, you have good credit, you let people have let you borrow something in the past and you paid them back. And then when you tell somebody, hey, I got an idea, I got this idea, I want to invest in this, that, and the other, and can you let me borrow this money and I'll pay you back? Well, if you have a track record of not paying people back, if you have a track record of mismanaging money, if you have a track record as a person who always come up with these ideas and you never complete them, you never finish them, and then you get mad when somebody say, I'm not going to give you the money, and then you say, well, you should trust me. What have you given us? What is the indicator that we should trust you? What is it? Because your past behavior shows us that we can't trust you. So with you, rather than trusting you, we have to take the wait and see approach. There is a difference in trust and the wait and see approach. They're really one and the same. They're really one and the same, but it's the spirit of those two things that make them different. When I trust you, I still have to wait and see. But your track record tells me more likely than not, you're probably going to be successful in what you're doing. You're going to work hard. You're going to see it through to the end, and it's probably going to work more likely than not. And if it didn't work, I can trust you did your due diligence, and so I'm more willing to take that chance on you. But if I take the wait and see approach, I might not be the one to give you money, but I want to wait and see if you will make this work. And then if you will make this work, then later on, I might come back and say, hey, I saw what you did there. You've earned my trust. Bottom line. So with Jerry, I just want to see him keep doing things and continue to earn the fan base's trust. Angela said, I'm strongly seeing our good starters begin to want out after this season if there is no change. Angel Eyes? Angel Eyes? Rod Curry, he said, why trade Osa to an NFC conference rival? The Cowboys don't seem to care about that. They really don't. They just don't seem to care about that. Cowboys don't care if you, other than being in the NFC East, the Cowboys say, we'll trade for you. We'll trade you a player. Yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of like tripping on that part. Yeah, no trip. I think they're kind of tripping on that part. Mose Logan said no bigger move is better than Crosby. Yeah, but unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make the Crosby move now. David said, G, would you give a first and a third round picks for Crosby? I would. It ain't going to happen. At least that's what I'm hearing. I just don't think it's going to happen. Mose Logan, watch this. This is why I just want to help us with what I'm saying. I want to help us with this because this is really kind of like Psychology 1. This is some psychology type stuff. Mose Logan, watch this. I don't have any choice but to let the cake bake because I don't get to call up the Dallas Cowboys and say, hey, Jerry, I need you to make this move right here. I don't get to do that. I don't. None of us get to do that. But I can tell you this, Mose Logan. It is the off season. It is okay for us to check in on the progress of the process. It's okay, man. It's okay. I mean, we just get too bent out of shape over some of this stuff. I know we all want the Cowboys to win, but even if we don't trust the process don't stop. Even if I don't get to control the cake baking. But somebody gets mad if you say, I don't know if I'm sure about some of the ingredients that was put in the cake. Somebody gets mad. Oh, you're negative. Man, it's not about being negative. It's not about being negative, man. It's about reacting to some things as you see them. And maybe what you're seeing is not the whole thing. Maybe that is not the whole thing. That's okay too. It's the off season for the reason. We all prognosticate. We all prognosticate in some form or fashion. So we just gotta, it doesn't matter if whatever we believe in, at the end of the day, it's still gonna happen whether we like it or not. It's gonna happen whether we like it or not. So I'm just going to continue. As I said before, Jerry has got to keep building trust. But again, I'm going to tell you what some people are starting to allude to. I had already alluded to this. And Angie is over here saying some of this. She's using some of this same language. That something is cooking. And what people think is cooking may not be what is cooking. I mean, unless the Cowboys come out. I'm going to tell you right now. The Cowboys are about 1 to 2 moves away from doing everything Jerry said. They're about 1 or 2 moves away from busting the budget. If they would go tomorrow, get Greenard, that would be busting the budget. Greenard is a win now move. Eric Greenlaw would be a win now move. But if you're really being honest with yourself, if we're really being honest with ourselves, I'm not sure if the Cowboys are saying this is win now. This may be the Cowboys saying, we got Christian Parker. We're going to take our time and get him the players. We're going to get him some players this year, let him get his system in place, and then we're going to come back next year and we're going to make the most ferocious run for the chip that you've ever seen. Because at this point, y'all have got to tell me, maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm dumb. What is the move the Cowboys have made this offseason that would indicate to you this is a win now season? Y'all tell me. Tell me, let me read some comments. Darren Posey, you're right. It's a tall task for a first-time defensive coordinator. We're going to have to give this man some leeway. I mean, people are putting crazy expectations on this guy. And all this trust Christian Parker. Can somebody tell me what has he done at this point for us to be saying trust Christian Parker? I believe he's going to be great. But the Cowboys got to get him the players. They have got to get him the players. If they get him the players, I believe he will be great because he himself has said, you need players. You need players. He needs players. And Christian Parker is not mincing any words. He said you need smart players. Smart players. So the Cowboys got to get him what he's looking for. And I'm not sure if they can do that in one season right now. I'm not sure. And the Cowboys, with the way that they're moving, is anybody sure what the Cowboys or who they're going to ship in or who they're going to ship out over the next few weeks? I just don't think anybody is sure about that. So people, man, they're just, man. I mean, they're just like, yeah, man, boy, the Cowboys are building up for something good. This is Bobby Belt. This is the kind of stuff that hype up a fan base. Yeah, and you know what? I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to wait and see. Because even if I don't wait and see, and this is the part I want to help us with, because we start getting mad like somebody has control over waiting and seeing a situation, like they're going to mess it up if they don't wait and see. Do y'all know even if I don't wait and see, I still have to wait and see? We don't have to get mad about this stuff, man. We just don't. We just don't have to get mad. We don't. We're all kind of wondering, like, what in the world is the Cowboys doing? Because if you, today, Osa Odighizuwa trade, you're like, oh, something's about to happen. Wait a minute, hold on. Solomon Thomas too? Wow, the Cowboys are about to announce Max Crosby. Now, I don't think the Cowboys are about to announce Max Crosby unless something changes. Larry said, I commend you for reading the comments, good or bad. It shows shows your integrity. Let's not overlook the importance of Christian Parker. He is going to be a big part of the new season. Larry Golden. And I do believe the Cowboys, Jerry is saying, we're not going to put this kind of pressure on Christian Parker. We got to get him the players. Angie mentioned it earlier. We actually got to trust the Joneses to get him the players, to do what they're supposed to do. Because I believe if they will get him the players, I do believe Christian Parker is going to be very successful. I do. I absolutely do. Doomsday said, gee, you know, he said, I think Jerry and Steven are really not looking for big sack guys because we've seen this dog and pony show before with Dan Quinn's defense leading in sacks and the guys nothing. I agree. Doomsday, I was thinking about this today on Bible study, on my way to Bible study. Doomsday, you know what I started putting in my brain? I started putting in my brain that the Cowboys are doing something that they have not done in a long time. Maybe they're trying to build a team. Because this is what I've been saying. Jerry has always gotten players. Jerry hasn't been able to build a team. Maybe they're building a team. Maybe they're building a team. They're trying to get the best players. They're trying to get the dog players. And they're saying that we're going to build a team. And we're going to be competitive in 2026. And if we make the Super Bowl, that's great. But 2027 is the ferocious Super Bowl run year. So maybe the Cowboys are saying that 2026 is the precursor for the 2027 Super Bowl. Maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe that's what they're saying. And if you look at what they're doing some of the things that I said they should be doing. Quality over quantity. When you think about the players the Cowboys picked up, they're not what you call quantity players. The Cowboys picked up on the first day of free agency. The Cowboys picked up two, what I would deem, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I believe the Cowboys picked up two quality players. I believe Rashawn Gary is a high quality player. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I think Jalen Thomas is a high quality player. I really think he's a high quality player. I think PJ Locke has the potential to be a high quality player. The Otito guy, I think he's more of a depth guy. But maybe what the Cowboys are doing is that they're trying to build a team. And I do think they tried to get Max Crosby. They tried to get linebackers, but the Cowboys are just not willing to negotiate enough. And I do think they should have hit on a linebacker, and they may still try to hit on a linebacker. But nevertheless, I just think the Cowboys are saying that it's a tall glass to expect Christian Parker to come in here and turn this defense into a top 10 defense in one season. So what are we going to do? Let's get him the players. Let's get him the material to work with. Let's get him a quality player in Rashawn Gary. Let's get him a high-quality safety. Let's get him another safety in P.J. Locke. We'll see what Hooker is. We got 2 first-round draft picks. Now we got a third-round draft pick, so we're back in the day 2. And I believe now the more I think about this, guys, the more I think about this and what the ramifications are, y'all tell me if y'all are smelling some of the same stuff that the Cowboys may be cooking, that the Cowboys may be saying, man, this is, hey, 2026, we're going to be competitive. But in the grand scheme of things, we want 2027. We want to give Christian Parker one season to build, implement his defense. We're going to help him build it with players. And then in 2027, we're going to the crib. We're going to the crib. Because y'all tell me this. So we were saying that the Cowboys were probably going to draft a safety, right? They were probably going to draft a safety. So if you look at the safeties on the board right now, the Cowboys are at number 12. Caleb Downs is probably not going to be there. What do you think the Cowboys are going to do or should do? Should the Cowboys take whoever is there at number 12? Should the Cowboys even take a safety? Y'all tell me that first. Antoine Bass, he said you did say in 2027. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Antoine, I think this is where they're building towards now. I think it's 2027 they're building toward. Y'all tell me this. So now the Cowboys have a good, if there is one place the Cowboys did a good job, it's the safety room. So if Caleb Downs is not there, anybody taking a safety? Is anybody taking a safety? Because they may have solved this one. They may have solved the safety room. Would y'all get a safety? Would y'all get a safety at number 12? If anything, what the Cowboys are probably going to do at 12, the Cowboys are more than likely, I think they're going to probably either try to get, if they don't get an edge in free agency, I believe they're going to try to get an edge, and I think they're going to try to get a linebacker because I think they have to address that. They want to get a pass rusher. Rashawn Gary is not necessarily a pass rusher. He can rush the passer, but he's not necessarily a pass rusher. So I would assume the Cowboys are going to go edge first, but they're not going to be able to get Orville Reese. They're not going to probably be able to get David Bailey. They're probably not going to be able to get Ruben Bain. Let's see what the mock draft is saying for the Cowboys at 12. It is saying right now that the Cowboys at 12 are getting Dylan Thieneman. Does anybody believe that today? I'm not believing the Cowboys are going to get Dylan Thieneman at safety. I don't believe they're going to do it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't believe they're doing that anymore. I don't believe they're doing that. I believe what the Cowboys may absolutely do now at number 12. I absolutely believe the Cowboys may be trading backwards. I absolutely believe the Cowboys may be trading backwards. I think the Cowboys are going to try to go in this draft and they're going to try to maximize it and they're going to try to get more draft picks. I believe they're going to trade that number 12 back because you tell me, unless someone falls to you, who's going to fall to you? I don't believe Orville Reese is falling to you. I don't believe Sonny Styles is falling to you. Maybe David Bailey. I don't think Ruben Bain is falling to you. Maybe Caleb Downs with some of the crazy talk that people are talking, but I'm not sure he's going to fall to you. So you're telling me at 12, Dylan Thieneman is there. I'm not sure the Cowboys do that. I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys trade backwards. Find somebody who wants that pick. You trade backwards and you get who you get another second round pick and you maximize those picks. I do think they were going to get a safety right there, but now they have to have a safety. They're going to go get another one? I'm not sure they're going to do that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Doomsday, he said, I told my son last year the Cowboys are going to go to Super Bowl in 2027. I think they're going to blow your socks off next season. I think so, too. Yeah. See, I've been saying I thought it was going to be 2026, no later than 2027. With what I'm watching the Cowboys do right now, I think they're saying, we're going to give Christian Parker 1 year to cook. We're going to get him 1 year to cook. We're going to get him the players. We're going to let him implement his system. Because I want y'all to understand something. And I believe y'all already understand this. I don't think I'm telling y'all anything. I believe y'all already understand this. Christian Parker, in the grand scheme of things, they are about to make a fundamental change in the Cowboys' defensive philosophy. This is going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot. They're going to have to shift the way this entire defense thinks. Angie made a comment earlier about a lot of these 2021. This is what Angie said. I said I was going to come back to this. She said, gee, you saw all the 2021 draft guys are all gone now. They're all gone. We are watching with the Dallas Cowboys an entire shift. We're watching an entire shift. They're changing everything about this defense. And to do it in an offseason and a season, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't think it's going to look as sloppy as it's looked in the past, as in Nolan and how it looked with Zimmer early on and how it looked with Matt Eberflus. I don't think it's going to be that sloppy. I just don't think it's going to be that sloppy. But it's going to take some time because I think we're going to discover as Christian Parker implements this defense, some of the players that the Cowboys are going to roll into this season with. I don't think some of those players may not finish. Some of those players may not make it next year. And so this year, the Cowboys will see what will work, who will work, and who don't work. I believe the Cowboys will they'll say, okay, that's where we're going to plug in somebody to fix that or fix this, but everything else is rolling really good. Everything else is rolling really, really good. So this is a whole new way of doing defense for the Cowboys. And I believe they have all sat down and said, it's going to be asking a little much. It's going to be asking a little much to say that Christian Parker is going to turn this defense around 180 and put us in the Super Bowl. Now, that don't mean that he can't. That don't mean that he can't. He may absolutely come in here and this defense gets on fire. And if he can get this defense mid-pack, hey, man, we're on to something. We're on to something. I do think he's going to have that defense ready to go. I think he's going to have them ready to go towards the end of the season. If we can keep the record good, the Cowboys will be in the playoffs. And I do think the expectation is the playoffs this year. I really do. I think it is definitely the playoffs. I don't think another year of not making the playoffs, it's not going to be good enough for us. But at the same time, I don't think they're expecting Christian Parker to be a top 10 defense this year. Let me say something right here too. Finn Sinjay. Let me tell you something. I was telling my wife this today. Finn, let me tell you. Man, I wish they would send some additional money to Let's Talk Cowboys. Finn, watch this. Book it. The Cowboys, I believe, next season, because of what they're doing this season, because unless they come back and show all of us something here over the next month, 2 or 3, this doesn't seem like an all-in 2026. It seems more of a building. And I saw some other comments y'all saying, talking about that Dak at this age, they're in a rebuilding process. I'm not sure if it's a hard rebuild, but it's a soft rebuild in a sense. And the reason why it's a soft rebuild is because Matt Eberflus, Jerry Jones put the franchise back a whole year by bringing in Matt Eberflus. So now Jerry's got to give it another year to bring in Christian Parker and then let Christian Parker do his thing. So now we got to watch all of that develop. I'm very excited about Christian Parker. I think he has all the right stuff. But I'll be honest with you. I'm really basing that on the programs that he's been with and the things that people are saying about him and things that I've heard him say and videos that I've watched on him. But in the grand scheme of things, he's never been the defensive coordinator himself. So this is even going to be early on, I believe it'll be a challenge for him. I think it'll be a challenge for him. But again, unless the Cowboys do something here over the next 2 to 3 months, I'm just not sure if they're looking at this as, okay, guys, this is a win now year. I don't think they're looking at it like that. And because they're not looking at it like that, watch this. I believe Dak Prescott is going to get an extension. I believe Dak Prescott is going to get an extension sooner than later. I don't believe the Cowboys are going to push Dak Prescott's contract down the road next season. I don't believe they're going to do that. Dak Prescott has a massive, massive cap hit again next year in 2027. And I don't think the Cowboys, I'm not sure the Cowboys are going to try to push that money down the road. I'm just not sure they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to try to kick it down the road in void years, because I want you to see where the Cowboys are on Dak Prescott's contract. Where the Cowboys are on Dak Prescott's contract. So now they have a total of 2 void years left. They've already used 2. They have converted money to free up cap space. They have 2 more void years left. The potential out for the Dak Prescott contract is at the end of next season. And I do believe that if Dak Prescott is doing well, which I don't see why he wouldn't be doing well, Dak is, he's still doing really well. I just think they're going to extend the contract. Because Dak Prescott, no matter how you slice it, massive dead cap money. Massive. No matter how you slice it, just massive dead money. 2027, 86 million. You would save 10 million in savings, but 86 in dead cap. I got a feeling the Cowboys are going to extend Dak Prescott. I believe they're going to extend him. It just seems to make sense to me that the Cowboys are going to extend Dak Prescott. Because you're pushing the window for Dak Prescott back. If this isn't the year to go to the Super Bowl, then you're pushing Dak's window back another season. I just got a strange feeling that Dak Prescott is going to be extended, because the Cowboys are basically saying that we're going to give Christian Parker a year to cook. We're going to give it a year to get him players. And so unless the Cowboys show us something different, and there are other people who are starting to come to this conclusion too, the Osa and Thomas trade may not actually signify the Cowboys are about to do something big right now. It may be signifying that the Cowboys are going to give it another year, be competitive with a high-powered offense, give it another year, and then they're going to continue. Then they're going to make the ferocious run in 2027. I just think that's where they are. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. I just think that's what they're doing. Angie, you know what's crazy? I showed you already today. If you look at what Jerry has done, he has busted the budget in his eyes. He's already busted the budget. They spent more than last year. They've already spent more than last year. If they're one player away from actually busting the budget. They're one player away. Lisa said, we're rebuilding. That's what I said. Trust the process. Rebuilding. And there are some people, they are frustrated by that, Lisa. And the reason why there are some people that are frustrated by that, and I understand why they're frustrated. They're frustrated because one of the things that people are concerned about is the health of Dak Prescott. People are concerned about the health of Dak Prescott. People act like the Cowboys rolled the dice this year and Dak Prescott was healthy the whole season. And so a lot of people are very concerned. They're like, they don't believe that Dak Prescott can hold up for 2 more seasons in a row with no injuries. This is where people are. And so this is why people are frustrated, because people are saying that the Cowboys need to be all in right now. Angie mentioned this earlier. Let's look at this right here. This is the 2021 draft class for the Dallas Cowboys. This is wild when you think about it. This is wild. Micah, Kevin Joseph, Osa Odighizuwa, Chauncey Golston, Nashawn Wright, Jabril Cox, Josh Ball, Simi Fehoko, Quentin Bohanna, Israel Mukwamu, and Matt Farniok. Wow. Gone. Gone, all of them. Gone. Darren Posey said the players that are leaving on defense are responsible for having the 49th defense. I see what you did there, Darren Posey. I see what you're doing there. He said the 49th worst defense. Yeah, the boys are bad. Doomsday said, yeah, Jay, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this Osa trade, and I think if you don't fit the scheme of a 3-4 defense, you're getting out of here, and they're trying to build a team. Absolutely. Yeah. Doomsday, I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, Cowboys are trying to build a team. And you're just not going to build that team in a season. You got a brand new coach, and now you're just not going to build that team in a season. You got to get them the players. And you got to figure out if some of the players you still have, you got to figure out if they're good enough. What's going on, Real Estate Vet? Anthony Robinson. Gary makes the Cowboys better. He absolutely does make them better. But he's not that kind of player that's, he's not what I call a game-changing player. But he helps you play the game better. That's exactly what he does. He's a very quality player. The safety, amen, he's way better than anything the Cowboys have had around here in a while. Doomsday said the linebackers in the draft that fits this scheme is better than a linebacker in free agency that doesn't. We have to think about that. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys were to get 2 of them, or I believe they're going to get an edge and a linebacker, then they're going to see what they're working with. What's going on? What's going on, Mike Smooth? West Texas, he said he thinks it's going to be an edge, corner, and linebacker. I do too. I think it's going to be an edge, corner, and a linebacker. And I say where the Cowboys are right now. You tell me, West. You tell me what you see when you kind of looking at this. You're not going to take a safety there. Let me go back to the big board for a second. You're not going to take a safety there. And so the question becomes for the Cowboys, are you comfortable taking any one of these players at number 12? I don't think Mansour Delane is going to be there. Mansour Delane. Mansour Delane may absolutely not be there. They're saying he's going to go at number 11, but he could be there. So this is my question for us all. If Mansour Delane is not there and you need a cornerback, it is projected that Jermod McCoy is going at 18. Avion Terrell is going at 21. Colton Hood is at 35, so on, so on, and so on. Are y'all really going to take Mansour Delane? I mean, if Mansour Delane is not there, are y'all really going to take Jamad McCoy at number 12? Are y'all going to take Jamad McCoy at number 12? Are you going to take Avion Terrell at number 12? I'm sorry. But you take Avion Terrell at number 21. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not sure I'm doing that. If the projection is 18 and 21, and I know these are the players that I want, I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards 2, 3 spots. I'm going back maybe to 15. Hey, anybody want this 12? I'm gonna kind of see if there's anybody that wants that 12. I'm gonna be waiting. Is there anybody that want that 12? Is there anybody willing to swap picks? Take our 12. We'll take your whatever. We'll take whatever. But also, we want your 3rd round pick, or we want a 2nd round pick. We may even want a 4th round pick. I would at that 12. I couldn't go no less than probably 2 at that 12, because that's a very, very good pick. But I would. How far could I get back to still get who I want? Because with what the Cowboys have kind of done, you're probably not taking a cornerback that high. I don't think Ruben Bain makes it to the Cowboys. So they got Kedrick Falk at number 19. So Keldrick Falk, are you going to take him at 12? Or would you trade backwards and try to get Keldrick Falk at 15 or 16 while maximizing those 1st round picks, and maybe you get you a 2nd round pick? This is kind of where I am with these picks right now, because you got edge, corner, and linebacker. The problem becomes, unless Orville Reese, Sonny Styles are going to be there, but C.J. Allen is projected to be at number 28. The Cowboys are looking very hard at Jacob Rodriguez. So the Cowboys could absolutely trade backwards and still get C.J. Allen. I mean, the Cowboys can really maximize those 2 picks. And I really think at the rate they're going and who's going to be there right now, and based on the fact they've already got Rashawn Gary, they already went out and got them a couple of safeties. The safety room looks way better. So at this point, when you look at the 3 positions that the Cowboys are going to target, is there anybody there? Because these are the guys that you're really wanting with that 12. Tell me if I'm wrong. These are the players you're wanting with the number 12 pick. Orville Reese, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, Sonny Styles, Mansour Delane. Those are the 5 players that you're wanting from 1 to 12. These other players are 18 and back. Are you drafting anybody, Jamad McCoy and back? Are you drafting any of these players at 12? I'm not doing it. Y'all tell me what y'all say. I'm not doing it. I absolutely wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pick any of these players at number 12 past Mansour Delane. I'm not picking any of those players. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I wouldn't do it. And Poobie D, you said take Styles, Downs, or Delane, but they're not going to be there. They're already projected not to be there. Yeah, they're projected not to be there. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going to hold pat at that number 12 until the last minute. I'm going to stand pat at number 12 to the last minute. But if Reese, Bailey, Bain, and Styles, if they're gone, if they are gone, and Mansour Delane, if these 5 players are gone at number 11, if there's somebody who said they wanted that 12, they're getting that 12, because I can go backwards and get the rest of these players. The Cowboys may absolutely make Rodriguez. I heard them talking about this tonight. Everybody's trying to figure out where Jacob Rodriguez is going. Better be careful with Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez had a very, very good combine. Brian Schottenheimer is headed down there to check out Jacob Rodriguez's pro day. He won't be the only one checking out Jacob Rodriguez's pro day. A lot of people are saying that Jacob Rodriguez is a monster of a linebacker. They're saying he's a monster of a linebacker. Y'all tell me, is he better than Anthony Hill Jr.? But they're saying that he is a monster of a linebacker. And so the Cowboys are going down. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer's going down there to check him out. But at number 12, if these guys aren't there, I'm not taking Jamont McCoy. At least I wouldn't. I wouldn't take him at number 12. Y'all tell me what you think. The Cowboys are in a position to where they can maximize those picks. Now, again, Doomsday, Sonny Styles is not unless Sonny Styles is there. I'm talking outside of those 5 players. Outside of those 5 players, these are the top 5 defensive players that everybody is saying that the Cowboys should get at 12. But if you look at the projections, they're not going to be there. Reese is projected to go 1. Bailey is projected to go, let me see here, make sure I read this right. Mock draft. Let's see what it says here. Yep, you got Orville Reese gone. Sonny Styles gone. David Bailey gone. Reuben Bain Jr. gone. Caleb Downs gone. These players are all projected to be up out of here. So by the time it gets to the Cowboys, Mansour Delane, he'll be gone. So by the time it gets to the Cowboys, you're at number 12 with Dylan Thieneman. I don't know if I would do Dylan Thieneman at number 12. I mean, I might be willing to go backwards and if I want whoever I want, I'd just go back to 18. Or I said I would go back no further than 15, but where could I go and get that player? And even at number 20, the Cowboys may absolutely have to take Rodriguez with that number 20 pick. If I'm the Cowboys and I know that Rodriguez is who I want, man, I'm willing to trade this number 20 pick. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Man, I'm willing to trade number 20 all the way down to number 32. Because I'm telling you now, Jacob Rodriguez is not lasting to when the Cowboys come around in the 3rd round. He is not lasting that long. He is not lasting that long. He absolutely isn't lasting that long. I would trade back as far as possible, and I would still get him. I'd get him at the bottom of the 1st, and you might actually be able to get 2 picks. 2 picks. Lil D Texas, the Cowboys ain't going to be able to do BPA. As a matter of fact, they would have to do what I was thinking about the acronym today. The Cowboys would have to do BDPA, the best defensive player available. They don't need offense. They would need the best defensive player available. But again, the problem is, Lil D, you're hurting yourself if you're taking a player at number 12 that everybody is projecting to go at number 22, for example. Why would you put a 12th round draft pick on him? 1, you're going to pay him more money. But number 2, number 12 pick on him, you're going to pay more money. But number 2, why not trade backwards and maximize your picks and still get top 20 defensive players? Now, I like West Texas, he said, trade back or trade up. Yeah, you could trade up. Now, the only problem, West Texas, with trading up, is you minimize. Now you have minimized those 1st-round picks. You've minimized them. And now you've boiled down a 12 and a 20. Who are you going to boil it down for? Orville Reese? Sonny Styles is definitely a thought process. I'll be honest with you. Sonny Styles is definitely a thought. But I don't think the Cowboys are going, at least I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to trade that 12 and 20 to get Sonny Styles because he's an unproven player. You know, that's a lot to give up unless you just know Sonny going to hit. Even then, a lot of people are saying other than Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock said he's not even top 10. But you'd be giving up a lot to go up to number 5 to get Sonny Styles when at number 12 and 20, you could actually trade backwards based on what you've already done now in free agency and trade. You could actually go backwards, man, and you could really, really maximize those picks. Man, you could turn those 2 first-round picks into 4 picks. You could turn those into 4 picks easy. Go back at number 12. Hey, I'll go back 4 or 5 spots. I'll go to numbers 17, 18, or 19, and I'll take your second-round pick. You're going to give me a second. You're going to swap first with me, and then you're going to give me a second. And I'm going to get my player that I want, and I'm going to get back in the second round. That number 12 is valuable. Number 20, I'm going to trade backwards. Hey, we can switch, and I'll take a 4th-round pick. I gotta really maximize this if I'm the Cowboys. Lisa said, I think they're going to get an edge player if there's a good one left. And there will be a good one left, but he won't be worth that 12. The Cowboys should be able to trade back. They would be able to trade back. Larry Golden said, here's the way I look at it. Even with the same players as last year, Parker would do a better job. I believe the Cowboys are saying that too. Michael Smooth, you're right. G, I'm like Voch. Teams suck at drafting. In particular, they suck at drafting defense. They really do suck at drafting defense. Anthony Robinson, he said, hot take. Take the best running back or tight end. Dak needs weapons. Okay. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, Anthony Robinson, if Jeremiah Love is there at 12, boy, y'all get ready. The Cowboys' whole draft going to be messed up. Poopa D said, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if they took a defensive tackle. Ooh. Okay. Wow. Okay, Southside Don, he said he's taking Peter Woods. At 12, he's taking Peter Woods. Let me see. Peter Woods. Who is Peter Woods? All right, let me go on this big board here. Who is Peter Woods? Okay, he is a defensive tackle, I would assume, right? Defensive tackle. Okay. One of the things I heard Brian Broaddus talking about today, he was talking about that he believes the Cowboys are looking for 4-eye football. Hey, he was talking 4-eye football technique. Let's look this up. Some of you football gurus, y'all probably are already familiar with this. Whatever this is. Okay, so he's saying that the Cowboys are looking for players. Okay, let's see if we can get this up on the big screen here. Okay, he's saying that what the Cowboys are doing. Brian Broaddus said he believes that the Cowboys are looking for players that can play this 4-eye defense. They are looking for guys who can perform this 4-eye level rush. Are y'all familiar with this? Because this was kind of like speaking Hebrew today when I heard him saying it. But he's basically saying that in this 4-eye rush or whatever it is, this is the expectations. Level rush, two-way go, level rush. So he's saying that the Cowboys are looking for defensive tackles that can go outside, and then the nose can go either left or right and get to the quarterback. And, of course, they're saying that this must be obviously pretty difficult because it seems like that their job is containment of the quarterback. So we're kind of watching this in action here. As you can see, he got outside, rushed to the quarterback level. Two-way go. Win the 1-on-1. This is what they're looking for. This is what they're looking for. All right, here's the hook technique. Containment on the quarterback. Man, I'm telling y'all right now, the Cowboys are changing their entire defensive philosophy. Man, when the Cowboys defense gets this down, And when they get the players that fit this scheme, man, this team's defense is going to be something special. I really believe it'll be something special. Okay, threaten the B gap. Dipped in and then dip out. Contain that quarterback. And you can see the feet of these linebackers in that 3-4. You know, see them kind of reading and reacting. Club back outside once your opponent commits himself to defending the B gap. Use your outside arm to club his shoulder and work back outside toward your responsibility in the C gap. Club back to the C gap. Turn the corner. Brian Broaddus was saying tonight that these are the kinds of tackles the Cowboys are looking for. And I got news for us. I think they're saying that Osa Odighizuwa, Noah Solomon Thomas fit what they were looking for. I don't think they fit what they were looking for. Yeah, I believe you tells it Rue hard. I believe you. Yeah, we'll know more at the end of free agency. Yeah. Actually, we're gonna know, we'll know by the draft kind of where the Cowboys are, the closer we get to the draft. But the Cowboys, man, they may not do anything and just sit back and say, guys, I'm just telling y'all what we're doing. We're building this thing up for next year. Christian Parker should have this defense ready to go. It'll look a lot better than it did. And by midseason, it's going to come to form. And by the end of the season, the Cowboys are going to be competitive. And then in 2027, whatever didn't work, we're going to plug in some more great free agency players. We'll probably go even less in free agency next season because we'll be looking for those difference makers players to go with the team. Kind of like the Cowboys did in 1992 when they brought in Charles Haley. Once they kind of got the team built up in 1991, 1992, what they do? Charles Haley. They got Charles Haley in 1992. Man, I'm telling you, we may be looking at some strange things with the Cowboys. Man, we better prepare ourselves. The Cowboys may absolutely. We'll see what they do with George Pickens. What if the Cowboys want George Pickens to play not on one but two franchise tags? And let him make around almost $60 million in 2 seasons. Doomsday said, I think Hooker's going to be the last one of Quinn's defensive players to go next year. I agree. Because Locken Thompson is circles better than Hooker. Man, I got a feeling they're going to take his place this year. Poobie D, I so want Maffa to get on the field, man. I so want Maffa to get on the field. I do. I want Jaden Blue to be our speed back. I want him to be our speed back, but we're going to see. Oh, man, West Texas, let me tell you something. Boy, I wish Cowboys could trade for Myles Garrett. Shoot. Man, I wish Cowboys could trade for Myles Garrett. That's 2 players right there. David Wallace, what up? What up? Good to see you. Doomsday said if we can get to the 17 scoring defense, because I think Cowboys have built a defensive line that will probably be number 1 in the run defense. They're going to wreck teams running the game, wreck the team's running game next year. Yeah. And so, again, as we're looking at what the Cowboys, this is what you're going to be teaching. This is what you're going to be teaching, how to pass rush from a 4-eye. We play a 3-4 defense, and my guys pass rush from a 4-eye a ton. They've unfortunately been struggling with getting pressure, though. Any best practices. This is what Christian Parker is trying to do. This is what he's trying to implement with the Dallas Cowboys. He's looking for players that fit this. Notice what he says. In passing situation, the 3-4 defense can put your defensive line in a tough position rather than getting upfield and threatening their opponent. They have to work diagonally to their rush responsibility to make sure they keep a balanced rush. This puts your D-line in a tough position to get pressure and affect the quarterback. That's why I'll be going through step by step how to rush from a 4-eye technique so your D-line can get pressure no matter what alignment you're in. This is what Christian Parker is going to be trying to do. This is what he's going to be trying to do. And so they're looking for players, as I showed you earlier. They're looking for players that can do this. All these little different, this is what Christian Parker will be spending the entire offseason teaching. And so it's going to take time for the Cowboys to get this particular situation right because they just haven't done it. I mean, it's a whole different defensive philosophy. Whole different defensive philosophy. I'm excited to see him implement it because if he can get it to work, it's going to work great. But again, you got to get him the players that can do this. You have to get him the players to do this. All right, let me go down a little bit further here. Read the super chat real quick. Robert Simmons, what's going on? Trade back and get Anthony Hill. Yes, sir. I really think the Cowboys are going to do some trading back. Because I do think they are building for 2027. Keedy boy, you know, you make a good point here. Let me play the other side of this. Other teams also might be playing for 2027 too, based on some things they're doing. 2027 is going to be very competitive. The Seattle Seahawks hit it at the right time. They hit it at the right time because the NFC was not that competitive this year. NFC was not that competitive, but it's going to be way more competitive next year. Angie said, and technically the highest kicker salary is yesterday's price, not today's price. It's not. Which, you know what? I was a little bit surprised. I was a little bit surprised that nobody came after Brandon Aubrey. I was a little bit surprised. I at least thought somebody would challenge the Cowboys on that salary. They didn't. So this means now, I don't know what it exactly means. You know, talking about Todd France and athletes first. I don't know exactly what it means. But I don't know if that means that he's not going to get $8 million a season. I'm sure it means he's not going to get $10 million a season. But at this point, nobody checked on him. Angie said, gee, last year's draft made me not interested in this draft and doing all that mock draft stuff. Angie, you and me both. You and me both. I just don't get into it like that. A lot of people love all the mock draft stuff. I think it gets very boring. I think all the mock draft stuff, it gets very boring. Angel Eyes, good night. Appreciate you. Jay Wood Sports, he said, I'd trade 12 to the Eagles for their 23rd and their second rounder. Yeah. I think the Cowboys have got to maximize. They have to maximize this draft. And if they can get more players, get more players. Get more players. Freddie Morales, El Chuco in the house. If I'm the Cowboys, get more players. Okay, AJ Wood Sports, he said Dylan Thieneman is a beast. What up, Freddie Morales? Yeah, Richard Batista, this is what I said. I said early in the season, or at the end of the season, I thought 15 would be the perfect spot. I'm going to 12 to 15 to get my linebacker, and then from 20 to 25 and get a corner, then get a second-round pick. That's what I was thinking, too. This is similar to what I said. And get that edge. And get that edge rusher with that third-round pick, another linebacker at the corner. I think, yeah, in some order, in somewhere in that order, I think the Cowboys really need to work those picks. They need to work those picks and maximize. Yeah, Christian Legal, they say he was asking for $10 million a year. That may be $10 million a year, as in I want $8 million a year. I think that's probably where it's going to be. Miss Major said, agreed, G. That drawn-out draft stuff is boring. Can't get into it. I can't either. Man, people be all into that mock draft stuff. I just can't get into it. It's not fun for me. Doomsday said, I'm not trading poo-poo to the Eagles. He said he's not trading nothing to the Eagles. But again, man, we're going to look at this 4-eye stuff again in the coming weeks. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a doozy to teach, guys. It really is. It's going to be a doozy to teach. Yeah, it's going to be a doozy. Absolutely. It is going to be a doozy to teach, as Brian Broaddus was calling it. This four eye technique. It's going to be a doozy. But I'm excited for Christian Parker. I'm confident, man. I'm confident if the Cowboys give him the players. I think he's going to be able to do it. Yeah, you're right, Anthony Robinson. They're not one player away. That's why from the Cowboys, man, I'm maximizing these draft picks. I'm going to try to at least turn these 2 first-round picks. I'm at least going to try to turn them into 3. I at least want to see if I can get me another 3rd from one of these first-round picks. I at least want to see if I can do that. But I'm going to really stand tight at number 12. If I'm the Cowboys on draft day, I'm holding on to that number 12 spot until the number 11th pick. I'm holding on to it. Because I want to see if one of these guys, like a Sonny Styles, mess around and fall to the Cowboys, a Jeremiah Love. I got to wait and see if one of these guys would fall to the Cowboys. An Alvaro Reese. I gotta really hold out hope that maybe one of these types of players fall to the Cowboys. Even with the safety room, if Caleb Downs is there, I'd get Caleb Downs. So I really want it from the Cowboys. I'm going to hold on to that number 12 pick as long as I can hold on to that number 12 pick. And then I'll trade it away if need be and still get my guy. Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit. I want you to kind of look at what the Washington Commanders have done here quietly while we've been on Max Crosby watch. They've done some pretty good things over here. They're going to be very competitive this year. They got Odafe Quay, Clavon Kyson, Chig Okonkwo. I tore that name up. Lee Cannell or Chanel or whatever his name is. Nick Cross, Tim Settle, and Amik Robertson. It's pretty good. They're going to be competitive, man. They went out and built that defense up. They're going to be competitive. This not even counting the draft. Quinn going to have them boys ready. So we're going to have to be ready too. Very excited about this 3-4, though, that Christian Parker's implementing. I know it's a hard defense to implement. Very hard defense to implement. But again, he seems like he's the man that can do it. I believe if the Cowboys get him the players, he is going to be great. Christian Legal said, I would look that if you want Dak to last a few more years and stay healthy, I would draft the offensive tackle at 12. You know what? I think they're going to have to figure out this thing with Tyler Guyton. We can't go another season trying to figure out Tyler Guyton. Lisa Worley said, I think we should get another kickoff returner because Turpin walking to the line, walking to the coverage ain't hitting it no more. Yeah. What up there, Sid? What up? Good to see you. All right, let's switch gears here a little bit. Here we go. So I got an interesting video. Foots the King recommended that people watch this video about Rashawn Gary. So let's go check out a video. These guys that talk football, they talked about Rashawn Gary. Let's see here. They do a show called Let's Talk Ball on, let's see. All right, let me see. I got the wrong. Let me see. I'm sure I can find it on YouTube. Let me see. It's called Let's Talk Ball. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. The Let's Talk Ball podcast. And they talked about Rashawn Gary today. Let me see if this is the one. Has some very good things to say about him. And then I'm going to try to find on the fan where they also talked about Rashawn Gary. Let's see. All right, let's check this segment out, guys. Rashawn Gary from Let's Talk Ball. Lisa said, G, you said we were going to get Gary. I know you're kind of happy about him. Yeah, I think he really elevates the defense. I really do. I think he elevates the defense. They're going to be good. Richard said, G, none of that scares me with our offense. We're going to torch them. Let me tell you something, man. Our offense is going to torch a lot of people. Especially if we can continue, if we can keep Pickens motivated. I'd rather assign Pickens, but I don't know what we're going to do. All right, so this is Cody Alexander and Felix Johnson. They are talking about Rashawn Gary. So I know I got his name spelled wrong, but let's check out what they got to say about him. Check this out.
You keep, it's like the whole list. Like go down the list. Kenny Pickett right now is your starting quarterback. I know Mendoza's going to.
I was going to say, relax, give it a few weeks. They'll get Fernando in there. But
yes.
And I think that concept to the nth degree.
What's going on, Papa Shug?
And the Cowboys never get the credit for like a good move because of all the ridiculous things. But I really like them getting Rashawn Gary with what their defense is looking like moving forward into next year.
This is we are resetting the floor. I was telling my buddy Foots, who does a bunch of stuff for the Cowboys on YouTube. He was like, guys, this is not a sexy move, but I like it. And I'm like, this is 100% about raising the floor.
Yeah.
So here's another thing too, when you're looking at these moves, is everybody wants to focus on the ceiling. They want to focus on the high guys. But you have to understand, like, where are we setting our floor? If I go out and buy a high price free agent and I put him on a pedestal, well, who the hell else is playing around him? We've seen this too often where a team is just like, we're going to throw a bag at a guy, and then we don't give him any complimentary players. And then we look back after a couple of years and we're like, man, that was a terrible signing. That guy's washed. And then he goes somewhere else and he automatically becomes a good player. And it was like, well, maybe it was the people that were around him, the scheme that he was playing in. I think, again, look, this is.
Oops. Wrong button. Yeah, they're actually right. We've talked about this before. You got to put people around players. And what the Cowboys got to hone in on, they got to build a solid defense. The Cowboys did this in 1991. The Cowboys built a real solid defense. They built it through the draft. They built it through free agency. They built it through trade. They built a very solid defense. And once you build a very solid defense, you got a system in place. You got disciplined players. You're playing really good defense. You got a really good offense. You're winning 10 to 11 games. You're winning 12 games. You're competitive. You're getting in the playoffs. You're going at least to the second round. Then that following year, what the Cowboys did in 1992 that really pushed them over the top defensively was Charles Haley. The Cowboys put Charles Haley on a defense that had found itself, that knew who it was. They had a good system. Then they put Charles Haley. Then they said, let's put that high impact player now on this team. And they took off. And once the Cowboys get this thing going, which I believe they're going to take this year to get it going, unless they come out tomorrow and shock all of us, because a lot of people they're going to get Max Crosby. I don't think they're getting Max Crosby. I'm going to show you why in a moment. And I don't think there's no smoke and mirrors behind what Max Crosby said. I really don't think it is. Pac-Man Jones is over there talking about, yeah, man, Cowboys going to get the Bengals. The Bengals, man, they're going to get Max Crosby. No, Max Crosby's not going to the Bengals or no one else. The Bengals or no one else. Sometimes you got to understand how God works, bro. Maybe it was in God's plan for you to stay with the Raiders all along. Because the way you got back to the Raiders is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. I haven't seen anything this strange in free agency. So if I'm Max Crosby, man, I'm kind of looking at this like this is unprecedented, unheard of. Maybe Las Vegas is where I belong. So I don't think the Cowboys are going to do anything like that tomorrow. I don't think they're going to do anything like that. And even if they brought in Lisa said bring in Wagner or Von Miller. And Lisa World, I'll be honest with you. You could bring in those guys. I don't think it'd be anything wrong with bringing them in as a stopgap. I just don't think it'd be anything wrong with it. But the Cowboys are going to be really focused on trying to get this system implemented. And I'm telling you right now, guys, prepare yourself. I think it'll look better than last year, but that's relative. Looking better than last year was atrocious. You could look better than last year and still be number 32 because we were that bad. But it's going to be a learning curve. And so Christian is going to have to get to work quick and early on this. Quickly and early on this. Edwin, I like what you said yesterday. Keys don't fit today's lock. They don't. They don't. I like that. He said Christian Parker changes Murray if they don't want to give him up. I didn't know he was on the team. I thought they'd already gave him up. Finn said Crosby doesn't like somebody with Raiders management. Forget the story, but he wants out. Man, let me tell you something. I know who that person is. It's Tom Brady. You know, Tom Brady got some weird stuff going on right now. Tom Brady's got some weird stuff going on. Tom Brady brings this guy from, you remember the guy from TB12, the guy who was stretching out his muscles and doing all this old crazy stuff. Well, rumor has it is that Tom Brady has that guy floating around the facility and acting like he in charge or something. It's really rubbing some people the wrong way. So we're gonna see, but I don't think, I don't know. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna make the Max. I don't think they're gonna make the Max Crosby move. They could shock me. They wouldn't shock me, but I'm not sure they're gonna make the Max Crosby move.
This is Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary. Do not forget Christian Parker was with the Packers when both of these guys were pretty much in their prime. I think he understands how to use them. I think he's definitely communicated. He has communication with those guys. Again, this is about, we've been the worst run defense, arguably, like really over
What's going on, Brandy?
5 years, which is by design. I mean, it's by design. Dan Quinn had designed that defense for that.
Yeah.
But this is Christian Parker in not a blitz heavy system, in more of a coverage system that he knows he's going to have to rebuild the secondary. What you can't have is, as we're rebuilding the secondary, that by the way, we cannot stop the run again for another year. So I think, I get asked all the time, hey, they've got the 3 interior guys. Does Osa Odighizuwa, does he still fit? Yes, they're a 3-4 base. Okay, now you got Rashawn Gary, who is a
Osa Odighizuwa is gone. I'm not sure if Osa Odighizuwa didn't fit as much as Osa Odighizuwa. Just the Cowboys kind of looked at him as, we value Kenny Clark more than we value Osa Odighizuwa. And I think the Osa Odighizuwa move was simply that. And the Cowboys said we can save some cap space in the process.
heavy edge. Okay, he's not going to drop a lot. That's perfect. Now you have all of these kind of rotational light edges that you can now move around. It's going to look, I think, a lot like what Seattle looked like last year. They still need to figure out the nickel position. I think they're going to figure that out through the draft. But I think that, like you said, they're not going to get enough credit, and they're going to still, everything again will be projected back to, oh, you had Micah Parsons. Yeah, that's great. But you got Quentin Williams now. You got Kenny Clark, who is a solid nose. And then now you've got Rashawn Gary, who is good, not great, but that's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
He's a better
I said the same thing
fit than Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, and in defense of Jerry Jones, which is probably the last time you'll ever hear that from me, at least. The when he traded Micah Parsons, it was like, all right, we can, instead of paying one guy $40 whatever million a year, we can pay 5 guys $10 million a year, or whatever that may look like. They have first round picks. They're getting guys in. They're getting Rashawn Gary. They're getting multiple players in the door, where they had multiple holes on their defense with Micah Parsons. And now, I mean, even in hindsight, don't trade Micah Parsons. Don't do that. But at the same time, now that you have, I think that they're making some of the right decisions. I mean, it was weird to do it right before the season. And then you trade for Quentin Williams in the middle of the season, kind of hamstring yourself. But then heading into the offseason, you actually feel kind of decent about yourselves.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things that were needed. And look, sticking with the Packers, look, they're going to pick up Zaire Franklin from the Colts. It looks like they traded him. They gave up one of their interior guys. So I think they.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry they're done talking about, but hey, that's a great conversation about Rashawn Gray. Absolutely is. Great conversation about him. I said the same thing about him when the Cowboys got him. I mean, I'm sorry, Rashawn Gary. I said the same thing about him when the Cowboys picked him up. I don't look at him as a great player. I look at him as a good player that is better than what the Cowboys had. But I still say, I don't understand the whole Jadeveon Clowney thing. I really don't. And I don't understand what they're saying, that he's a better locker room guy than Jadeveon Clowney, unless they tell me something that I don't know. I'm sorry, but Jadeveon Clowney was, I thought he seemed like to be a very encouraging individual. So I'm a little bit, I don't really know what he's talking about on that. But he seems like he's going to be a really good player for the Cowboys. Anthony Robinson says he wasn't bad. NFC East, we're going to stop the run. Quarterbacks, yeah. Quarterbacks run, running backs run. No doubt about it. Lisa said Clowney showed out to be coming off the couch. Give him a chance. I think he's going to get even better this year. I'm confused, Lisa Worley, on Jadeveon Clowney. I don't see how you could say that he couldn't play in the system. Jadeveon Clowney, one thing that he's always been, he's always been a very athletic dude. I couldn't see where he wouldn't be able to pick this up. Mose Logan said they need to bring Clowney back and put him on the other side of Gary till Big E come back. Yeah, love to bring him in, man. Richard said we got to do just like the Texans, get the linebackers that are young and fast and dogs coming out of college. I agree. I don't understand, though. Jadeveon Clowney, I just think he'd be great for the Cowboys. But I do say that in order to build a championship level 3-4 defense, I just don't think you can do that in a season. I think that's tough to do in a season. I think it's tough to bring in that new coaching staff, implement that system, get all the players up to speed. That's a tall glass, man. That is a tall order to field, if you ask me. Let me show you something else over here. And this is why I say, man, I talk about sometimes, I just think that players should make sure that whenever they make decisions, you think sometimes people say, yeah, they ought to give the team a break and they ought to do this for the team and do that for the team. Well, you better be real careful doing stuff for the team. You better be real careful doing stuff for the team. Let me show you what somebody said about Osa Odighizuwa. Love it, like it, or hate it. This is a truth. Let me see here. Yeah, check this out right here. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen this if y'all are over there on X. But this is true. Man, the football business, I said it the other day and I'm going to say it again. Man, the football business is terrible. The football business? Yeah, we still got James Houston. He's a 2-year deal. He's a great player. I think he's going to be even better this year. Man, the football business sucks, man. The football business sucks. I said it the other day, man. The football business, it breaks up teams. It moves players around. I mean, it causes all kinds of things, man. A lot of mental anguish. And Don Kleeman, this is nothing but truth. Heartbreaking. The Commanders offered Osa Odighizuwa more money last year, but he wanted to stay in Dallas, and he took less money to do it. Wow. Well, that's tough. Hindsight is 20/20, man. Says Osa also just built a house in Dallas. Wow. It's tough, man. But that's the football business. The NFL is a ruthless business. It is. Bottom line. It's a ruthless business, man. It is. You look back on stuff like that and you go, man, I could have went over there and played with Washington and did this and did that. You take them team-friendly deals. Understand this. When your performance isn't what these teams want, or if you don't fit what they want, even if you're playing well, man, they will cut you in a heartbeat. they'll cut you in a heartbeat and you won't get your money, or they'll trade you in a heartbeat and put you in a higher state tax bracket, put you in a state with a state tax. Man, this is why when you're talking about these football deals, I know people, oh, the players are playing for money. Well, y'all don't think the owners are doing what they're doing for money too? I mean, we don't mind the owners doing it, but we get mad when the players doing it. I mean, the owners is what made it into a money game because they make so much money at the sport. So what are you supposed to do? Players are supposed to play for pennies on the dollars and let the owners get rich and richer? No. You got to split that money up. These guys are earning that money. But at the same time, it was the same thing I was saying about George Pickens. Everybody talking about George Pickens playing on a franchise tag. We're gonna see, because I'm gonna tell you something about GP. I'm gonna tell you, I am so happy what George Pickens has done. Man, George Pickens has went radio silent. I've seen no social media post, no crazy memes, no subliminal messages, no talking to anybody. His representation, they're not talking to anybody. I mean, I love the way George is moving. I love the way George is moving, because at the end of the day, only George can decide if he's going to play on that franchise tag. But I'm telling you, it's stuff like this stuff with Osa Odighizuwa is why people don't want to do some of that stuff. They don't want to play on those tags. They don't want to give team-friendly deals, because they already know that when the team is tired of you, if something ain't working, man, them teams will ship you out. You wind up going on another team, and then they start talking about your money, and they want to cut your money, and oh no, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's the football business. Chosen One said, I like Clowney, but if we're not going to be at our best defensively until year 2, then why get Clowney for a 1-year deal and just get a young edge that will grow with the team? It all depends on where they see themselves, I would say. And if they thought they were going to be ultra competitive, I say go ahead and bring him in as a stopgap guy, keep winning while you're getting somebody trained up. Because one of the things Chosen One, I think the Cowboys don't do good enough is player development. I think where the Cowboys ruin players, Chosen One, is that they bring players in and the Cowboys' expectations are they immediately come in and start playing. No player development, just get out there and we're going to try to develop you as you go. And that ain't good enough for some of these guys, man. You think about what the Cowboys did. Now, you get these guys like Ty Booker, they're pretty special. Savon Revel Jr., he'll be better in year 2. Definitely got some work to do. Thank God he didn't. I don't know, even if he wasn't injured starting the first of the season, with Matt Eberflus would have been tough trading. Tough trading, man. And so, I think it's just good if you can. Some of these guys you got to develop. Maybe the number 12 pick, he gets right out there. If he's he's supposed to be that good, he's number 12. Borderline even the number 20. But you start talking about the third rounder. If it's not a running back or a wide receiver, you start talking about that third rounder, man. You might want to do some player development on anything beyond that. Rather than just throwing 5th and 6th and 7th rounders out there and saying, you got to be a part of the, contributing to us winning. That's a recipe sometimes for disaster. I would like to see a little bit more player development in Dallas. Anthony Robinson said the Dallas Cowboys are the only team in the NFC East that throws the ball. Interesting. Yes, sir. That's a very good observation, Anthony Robinson. I may have to talk about that at some point. That's a very good point. So, Osa Odighizuwa, you feel bad for him. It's not like the Cowboys took his money or anything. But you really feel bad for him because, these guys, you want to be in Dallas for this set amount of time. But, in the grand scheme of things, the way football is designed, you can actually live in Dallas. You could actually live in Dallas and play in San Francisco because you're on the road half the season anyway. I guess the only thing that would suck is the fact that the games you would be at home, you wouldn't be able to be at home. But he gonna have to sell that house. Now that I'm thinking about it, you probably don't want to live in Dallas, because these off-season programs and training camps and then the season, you would rarely be in Dallas unless you just want to use it as a vacation home. Mose Logan said, I believe we have the edges, maybe just one more because you have Gary, Houston, Big E, and Sam Williams and Dante. I believe the front office believe that that's what they signed Sam back for. Yeah, why they sign him back. Yeah, I agree with you. If down falls to 12, Hooker going to book it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if one of those guys fall to 12, you got to take them. You got to take them. They're just generational talents. Well, in particular, the one in particular who I say is a generational talent is Sonny Styles. I wish he would fall to the Cowboys. Asante Turner, he said Osa had to go respectively. The minute we traded for Clark and Williams, he was on the outside looking in. His contract needed to be moved. It was business, not personal. Oh, yeah, this is the part you hate, Asante. It's the business part. And I said it earlier. I really do think the Cowboys valued Kenny Clark way more than they valued Osa Odighizuwa. And I believe his fate was set in stone when Kenny Clark got here. And especially when we saw some of those reps with Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so I think this is kind of where the Cowboys are. And I will be honest with you, man. The Solomon Thomas trade really caught me off guard. That really caught me off guard. Because I was like, okay, well, they'll keep. Man, it never even crossed my mind the Cowboys were going to trade Solomon Thomas. It just never even crossed my mind. I knew Osa, but I was shocked about Solomon Thomas. Because I thought Solomon Thomas played pretty well, and he's a pretty versatile player. Ex-first round pick, very versatile player. But it's pretty obvious. It says here, Thomas joined the team last year on a 2-year deal, and though he battled injury during the 2025 season, he proved himself a worthy rotational talent. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be doing that rotational stuff. Joining Robert Sala's group in Nashville, also reuniting with former Cowboys defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton, and for the third time in his career. Now serving as defensive run game coordinator and defensive line coach for Sala and the Titans. The Cowboys will move forward now having a third-round pick, having not had one prior, $16 million in salary cap that will be accountable to San Francisco, with Dallas landing $4.75 million in overall cap savings from Odighizuwa's trade, and another $2.5 million by moving on from Thomas. And I'm just telling you, man, this is one of the reasons why, this is a business, and these guys have to treat this like a business, because when people get tired of you, man, they'll ship you out and do all kinds of things, and so you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself. Doomsday said, I believe Quentin and Kenny are going to dominate in the Christian Parker defensive front. Yeah, I do too. Mose Logan said, me too, G. I pray every night Styles fall. Man, I'm going to tell you, the way people are talking, it wouldn't surprise me. Mose Logan, if I'm not mistaken, Peyton Turner is a free agent. Let me see. I think he may be a free agent. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 1-year deal, so I think he's a free agent, even though I hadn't seen anything out there on him. Okay, yeah, he signed a 1-year contract on March 11th. He's not currently a free agent. I don't really know what that means, but he only signed a 1-year deal. Man, I think Derek Greenlaw, I think Greenlaw would be good. I really do. And I really think you need somebody like that in the building because, man, we got to approach this thing like Donovan Ezaraku and Demarion Overshown not going to last the whole season. And Jerry talked about that. He said he doesn't want to get caught like that again. Lil D said need to draft players for that position, only stop making a linebacker to an edge rusher. Oh, man, I agree with that too. Yeah, Edwin said, I'm not mad at the Osa trade. I'm disappointed in the return. They wanted to get rid of that money, man. I think that's what it was. I think they want to get rid of that money. Doomsday said Jacob Rodriguez is another generational talent, and we could probably get him at 20, but that might be a reach. You talking about the kid out of Texas Tech? Oh, the Cowboys are going to be able to get him. I think the Cowboys are going to be able to get him. Christian Legal said the shocker was them letting Perrion Winfrey. Boy, you ain't lying. Perrion Winfrey. Man, I was shocked with that Perrion Winfrey go. I thought he was very promising. I really did. I thought Perrion Winfrey was very promising. And the Cowboys said, no, he's not. Obviously said, no, he wasn't. The NFLPL horrible when it comes to collective bargaining agreements. You're right. They have absolutely no real leverage for the players. None. Mose Logan said Tolbert is hanging in there with the Cowboys, I see. What happened? The Cowboys extended him again? Or let me see. What's going on with him? Okay, what's going on? Did he see? Says he's a unrestricted free agent. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be a practice squad player for the Cowboys. But I do think Jalen Tolbert's got some talent. I'm not sure how this actually goes as far as the these guys who sign these 1-year deals. I don't know when they actually come off It is the new league year. I would figure they would already be off the books, or they would. Okay, Lisa said he's on the market. Doomsday said Tolbert needs to go, man. I've seen enough last year. Needs to go, man. I got you. Okay, Lisa, he's on the market. I'm surprised nobody's picked up old Jalen Tolbert. I'm surprised. I really am. Jalen Tolbert is talented. But when you bring in George Pickens, he ain't nowhere close to that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of players close to George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on the same team. Let me see here. 4 free agents that could sign a prove-it deal with. All right, Lisa Worley, I think you're going to like this. 4 players that the Chiefs could sign to 1-year prove-it deals. And number 1 on that list is Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert. Cowboys 3rd-round selection in 2022 draft, appeared to start his career in the doghouse. And then coach Mike McCarthy, the South Alabama product, only appeared in 8 games as a rookie. But I think he's got some talent. Says now, surprisingly, however, he was unable to build on that 2025, that success in 2025. Of course, they brought in, what's the name? He's only 27 years old, 6 foot, 195 pounds. Will presumably move on to another team. The Chiefs just housed a similar reclamation project in fellow 2022 draft, Tyquan Thornton, who never caught on with the New England Patriots as a 2nd-round pick. Thornton showcased speed that Tolbert cannot replicate, but Tolbert was significantly more productive at his first stop in comparison. Tolbert may be okay with Patrick Mahomes if they can work him in. Uncle Charles, he said he think it's going to be our year. Uncle Charles, I got to see a little bit more. I think the Cowboys may be telling us they don't want to put that pressure on Christian Parker, but we're going to see. Maybe he gets the defense turned around faster or sooner than later. We're going to see. Mose Logan said, I'd rather have Tolbert than Mingo. I don't understand the whole Mingo thing. Mingo is one of these guys we just need to admit. I don't think we made a good choice with Mingo. Doomsday said, gee, we can't forget about Ryan Flanoy. Oh, man, Flanoy, man, let me tell you something. We're going to be making a decision on Ryan Flanoy in a year or two. Whenever that deal is up, we're going to be making a decision on him, because there are going to be some teams that's going to want Ryan Flanoy. He's got a great work ethic. He's got a lot of talent. Yeah, that boy, hey, boy good. As Orsino said, the boy good. Lisa Wordside, wish him the best of luck, and I will cheer for him when he's not playing for Dallas. Yeah, I think he's going to be successful. I mean, I don't think he's going to be like that kind of successful, but I think he's going to be successful. He seems to be a good kid, good work ethic, and I think maybe a new scenery will be very good for Jalen Tolbert. We're going to see what happens. But again, you know, all these catchphrases of trust the process and all of those things, you know, we got to see some success in the process. And even if we're saying we don't trust the process, we still got to watch the process because there's nothing we can do to stop it. So I'm excited about what the Cowboys are doing. And you know, like I said, I was thinking about this today, and I was like, maybe the Cowboys are really trying to put together a squad. And maybe this is why some of these things are happening. But I do say at the same time, they did miss out on those linebackers. They just got out negotiated. They lost out on the linebackers. I like what they did with Max Crosby. I don't care if Max Crosby was healthy. The Cowboys shouldn't have gave up 2 first-round picks for him. I don't care if he's healthy. I thought we drafted Ryan Flanoy. I thought he was higher than that. Let me see. I thought Ryan Flanoy was a 4th-round guy. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, he's a 6th-round guy. Okay. He was a 6th-round guy. Tolbert was the 4th-round guy. He's the 6th-round guy. But he's looking real good. He's looking real good. All right, let's look at a couple of more stories before we get up out of here tonight. Oh, yeah, there was no doubt about that, Shenard. Yeah, they were going to overpay like everybody does, though. That's the game. Everybody overpays. So, yeah, that's the game. Let's look over here on X, see if there's a couple more things. I thought I had the thing for Max Crosby. Let me see. Whole lot of stuff with Max Crosby. I'm just not even going to show all of it. Just, it is what it is. Max Crosby is out of as far as I can tell, Max Crosby is not going to be in Dallas. Max Crosby is not going to be in Dallas. There are some crazy things coming out about the whole Max Crosby thing. They're saying that they said that they were negotiating with Trey Hendrickson with Max Crosby in the building. But let me show y'all something real quick. A couple things from Max Crosby. Man, I'm going to tell y'all something. Max Crosby is a class act. I have really got to give Max Crosby, I got to give this guy credit, man. Max Crosby is a class act, and I'm going to show you why in just a moment. Class act. Let me show you. I'm going to show you why he's a class act here. But it sounds like, from what my understanding is, they're saying that Max Crosby, they said, you know, he went back to the Raiders and they kind of sat down, they talked, they got everything kind of back together. And Max Crosby, they're saying he's playing with the Raiders. At least this is what they're saying. Max Crosby is saying, and the Raiders are saying, Max Crosby is playing with the Raiders this season. And they're saying they're not even going to try to trade him. That's what I'm hearing. And then, you know, we know how the NFL go. You know, we say that, and then tomorrow, breaking news. He'll be getting traded. But from what my understanding is, they're saying he's saying that he's not getting traded. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if y'all saw that, but this is what he said right here. Says here, All-Pro edge rusher Max Crosby expressed his commitment to the Las Vegas Raiders on Wednesday night in his first public comments since the Ravens nixed the trade that would have sent him to Baltimore. He said everything happens for a reason. Crosby wrote in the post on X, believe it. He said, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that. Yeah. Yeah, he said he rolling. So everything I'm hearing, and you got to think about it, they can fit him under the cap. And when you think about the players the Raiders bought in, man, that defense could actually be pretty good with the players they bought in. I mean, Max Crosby may eat on that new defense, man. He may eat on that defense. They brought in Tyler Linderbaum as a center. Let's see, they brought in Quay Walker, they brought in Kwity Paye, and they brought in Jalen Naylor. I mean, man, these guys might be pretty good. They might be pretty good. Eric Stokes. They brought in Malcolm Kuntz. Looks like the Kobe Dean. Taron Johnson. Man, Crosby on that defense. I'm glad they're not in the NFC. And I can see a scenario where the Raiders draft Mendoza, but they also go out there and get them a veteran quarterback and say, well, we're going to put Mendoza on the shelf, and we're going to put together a team that's good enough to win now while we bring Mendoza along and develop him. And I think the quarterback they're going to be looking at, I guess you could say fortunately or unfortunately, is they're probably going to bring in Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins right now is probably the best quarterback available on the market because they're not going to go after Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray is going to want one of those kind of contracts where, it ain't going to be no one-year deal. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to go after Kyler Murray. But let's see the quarterback. They're listing Kyler Murray, but I'm not listing Kyler Murray as the best quarterback on free agency. I just can't go with short quarterbacks. But outside of Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers is there, and I think it would probably be Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I mean, maybe Aaron Rodgers would play with the Minnesota Vikings, but I would believe they would probably look at Kirk Cousins. But I don't know. I mean, just because it's Aaron Bleeping Rodgers, I'd probably take Aaron Bleeping Rodgers over Kirk Cousins. But I wouldn't be surprised they bring in one of these veteran quarterbacks and let them play. Okay, I'm late. So, yeah, the Vikings were looking at Murray, so they got him. Thank you for updating me on that, Lisa Worley. I hadn't had a chance to look at my socials and see some of that stuff because I was teaching. But I believe Kirk Cousins. I believe Kirk Cousins might be the guy. Oh, man, Silver, boy, hey, don't even tell me that. Man, don't even tell me. Bane? Shoot, Cowboys would lose their mind. Cowboys Nation would lose their mind if Bane came to Dallas, and I would too. Yeah, hey, if he there at 12, you got to get him. Mark says, "Say, G, when I look at the Cowboys defense for this past season, it looks like they're getting rid of guys that lack the off-the-ball speed." You're right. Again, they're trying to get, as Brian Broader said, they want these 4-eye guys. They want these guys who can contain the quarterback outside and somebody in the middle that can play the A-gaps. Lil D Texas, he said, why the boys get Sam Howell? You know what? Hey, man, I'm going to just tell you what I believe on the Sam Howell thing. I just think they wanted to upgrade. I think maybe the Cowboys looked at Joe Milton and said, Joe Milton isn't good enough. I think that's what they're saying. I just think they're saying he's not good enough. I do. Mose Logan said if Cousins go to the Raiders and they keep Max, the Raiders might be contenders. I agree. Because the defense is going to be nasty. The defense is going to be nasty, man. It is. I could see them getting Kirk Cousins. I could absolutely see them getting Kirk Cousins. But I'm going to tell you this, man. Max Crosby is a class act. I'm just telling you up front. Max Crosby is a class act. Everything he did it quietly. Didn't do no negativity, none of that stuff. He's a class act. And now he's back with the Raiders. I hear he talked to the guys upstairs, and they're saying he's back in. But I'm going to get, you know what? This is the NFL, too. It's a business. And, man, I've been hearing stuff about Tom Brady. Man, I've been hearing stuff about Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady is the GOAT. I like Tom Brady. But, man, I'm hearing Tom Brady been doing some crazy stuff, man. Man, I'm hearing Tom Brady up in there doing crazy stuff. So, if they can find another trade partner, I wouldn't be surprised because I wouldn't let it. It's not going to surprise me if he gets up out of there because, like I said, man, it is the Raiders. It seemed like it was kind of volatile. Okay, before we get up out of here, I want to check out a couple of the things they were saying. I was listening to on 105.3 The Fan. They had some pretty cool stuff they were talking about. Mark Davis, appreciate you on that super chat, my brother. They had some pretty cool things they were saying because everybody's trying to kind of figure out what the Cowboys are doing. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think nobody knows at this point. I think people are anticipating them doing something, but I don't think nobody really know what they're doing. All right, let's listen to some of this on, this is earlier they were talking about John Owning, talking about, no, let's do the Osa Odighizuwa stuff.
The ACC title game.
We have breaking news.
Well, we got it. What happened?
We got stuff. Jordan Schultz. Jordan Schultz is on it. Shout out to Kevin Walker as well for sending this in. Brian, you're going to need to get on the phone. The Cowboys are trading defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa to the 49ers. Per multiple sources, this is from Jordan Schultz. Osa, 17 sacks, 34 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles during his time in Dallas, was a team captain.
I'm like whoever said this earlier, though. I'm really surprised at the return. The return on Osa Odighizuwa, it just seems like it was a salary dump. It was a salary dump and a third-round pick. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I just thought you could have got more for Osa Odighizuwa. Maybe I'm crazy.
Got that new deal last year as the 3-tech. Eberflus clearly was a big fan of Osa, big reason why they wanted to retain him. He is now one of the assistant coaches in San Francisco. That connection, probably a reason why San Francisco wanted to pursue Osa. And so now the Cowboys are moving him to San Fran.
Do we know what they're getting back?
Have not got the return yet.
I did not realize that Osa Odighizuwa was a Matt Eberflus thing. Didn't realize that.
Have not got the return yet.
Okay, so we had the development earlier in the show that Osa's contract significantly more tradable than we were thinking could have been possible yesterday. If you look up these contract tracking websites, it looked like the cap hit might have been somewhere between $32 and $36 million for Osa, but it's 16 mil, which immediately frees up a handful of millions of dollars for the Cowboys. If they post June 1 designate it, then the cap number would go all the way down to $4 million. And I think that's what you're hoping for right now, to give the Cowboys a little bit more breathing room to keep peppering this roster with quality signings. And we'll talk about some of the remaining available linebackers. There's a couple of names on there coming up at 6 o'clock. I think they could do some shopping, and another meaningful signing would go a long way for me. I know a lot of fans on the text and a lot of activity on social media is just that it's not enough. And right now, Jerry Jones kind of promised to bust the budget, and so far he hasn't. And you feel like this roster is still a ways away from being good enough to compete. So, but that's a big development, as you were trying to tell folks for a couple of weeks now. Wolchuk, the Cowboys were interested in moving on from Osa Odighizuwa, and whether you agree or disagree with how you should fit this scheme, it's clear the Cowboys had seen enough in 2025 in year one under Shoddy, and Christian Parker didn't have big plans for him.
Yeah, I mean, initially I was putting him out, as Vegas, would that make any sense? If the Cowboys were pursuing Max Crosby, they had moved on from Christian Wilkins. I thought maybe they'd have a need there. But, this is one where I think as over the weekend you heard the reports that maybe he was a veteran player that was in the conversations with Vegas there. I don't know that they necessarily were interested. And evidently, when you talk about having Kenny Clark, having Quinnen Williams, you add Abonia, who they just got from the Chargers yesterday. You still got Jay Toye on the roster, Solomon Thomas. It's like, okay, where's the fit here? And for Osa, maybe it benefits him to be able to go somewhere else where he can flourish and certainly be a starter, try and get back to more of those. Do we have the return?
3rd round pick.
Let's go. Wow.
I mean, I get that it's a 3rd round pick. And Miss Metchers, okay, so you telling me you thinking the same thing. I mean, you just seem like it would have been more. At least a player, even if it wasn't a top player. I mean, you just thinking it's Osa Odighizuwa. I mean, he's got some pretty impressive stats in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you would be like Osa Odighizuwa would be a player in a 3rd or at least a 2nd if you're not going to give up a player. I don't know. I just thought that was odd. And Mark Davis, he said Osa looked good. And this is one of the issues with Osa. How Osa looks depends upon who he's with. He's not that kind of guy that's a game changer, and he wrecks a game on his own. He creates his own plays. He's not really that kind of guy. Miss Major said it actually makes sense. I was laughing at the thought of him ending right back under the wings of Filthy Flus. Guess they were laughing with me. Miss Major, hey, I'm going to tell you. I mean, I'm tripping on the fact they said that Flus really liked him. So I guess they're saying he was kind of influential in the extension. Okay. He was influential in the extension. All right. Let's see. Everybody needs somebody in the corner.
Here we go. Day 2.
We'll take that. And that could be your linebacker. That could be a safety. There are a lot of intriguing players there in the 3rd round that you could look at. Kyle Lewis from Pitt. That could be a guy that you look at there. Bud Clark from TCU.
Pick in the 80s, something like that.
There's a lot of good options there.
Yeah, let me see what that is.
All right. Well, that'll make day 2 a little bit more interesting. You'll have to wait around to get there, but towards the end of day 2 of the NFL draft, the Cowboys will now have a pick with Osa Odighizuwa going to the 49ers. And, I like this idea, this concept of we're not going to put defensive linemen out here that are going to get smoked in the run game anymore. If we're going to be serious about getting this thing shut down, and it's probably, beyond that, just a better schematic fit for him to be somewhere where his career can flourish a little bit more, and the Cowboys can get out from under his contract.
Yeah, Miss Matrix, I agree with you and Mark. Yeah, he looked better with other players. So the Cowboys had to get him up out of there.
Contract. Now, if you could just find a taker for Deron Bland and a quality replacement for him, then you could erase 2 of your significant mistakes. But that was kind of hanging over your head. I felt like, because as you're scrambling to get as much cap space as necessary, a deal that maybe you had near instant buyer's remorse on was an anchor. And now, yes, maybe you don't free up a ton of money immediately for 2026, but as that contract would have gone on into 27 and 28, that's future money that you can now spend, hopefully, to fix this roster up as soon as possible. We'll have more analysis of that coming up at 6 o'clock. Thanks for the breaking news. Osa to the Niners for a 3. It's time now for the G-Bag of the day.
Yeah, I think that Osa thing threw some people off, man. I think that Osa stuff threw some people off. But I wasn't surprised. I did a video on it last week, and people like, you crazy. No. You can see the writing on the wall.
Sean Payton got back to us.
Oh.
Heck yeah, Sean.
Did you tell him I said hello?
He liked you buttering him up?
I did.
You buttered his biscuits?
Okay. Read the exact text you sent and then give us his response.
Hey, Coach.
What's going on, Mr. James Starks? Miss Matrix, I think the thing is, I don't think they thought he fit the system. It's a whole new defensive system. I think they're listening to Christian Parker, and they said he was expendable, but I also think he was a salary. I think he was a salary dump. Salary dump, didn't fit the system. They said they were good, move on. I think that's what they were saying. They were ready to move on from him. James Starks, unfortunately, Bland ain't going nowhere.
Gave a great scouting report on Williams last season. Outstanding. Can you give me one on your former guy, Locke? Love his tape. Thanks, Broadus. He says, great to hear from you, Brian. Locke is a really good mover. Our safeties play left and right so he can play down in the box or play the deep third. He's very versatile. He's a great teammate. He covers well. He tackles well. Really going to miss him.
Okay. All right. We got to take his word for it.
He's not.
He wasn't blowing smoke on Javonte Williams.
Nope. He was right about that.
Glad to hear he's a good teammate. We know he's a good tackler. He speaks to him as a versatile player. And when you gave us the breakdown of like where he played most last year, where he's playing, it almost feels like they, based on your scouting report, they were kind of playing him out of position at times, playing him more like a free safety.
To me, watching him play, and I know, okay, Dawson, have you done any safeties this year in the draft? You've looked at a couple, right? Downs and guys like that.
Yeah.
Downs doesn't really play as a true free.
No.
Right? But I know Zach and I have watched some guys, like we talk about the guys like Wheatley.
Bud Clark at TCU.
Bud Clark, TCU. There's some guys that you watch them play and you're like, that's a guy with rates. Our guy, McNeil Warren from Toledo. That's a guy when you watch him play back, you feel like, oh, that's got free safety. The way that the movement skills with Locke, it's movement skills, as Coach says. I kind of felt like his movement skills were more downhill.
Right.
The way Coach seems to think the movement skills a little bit more probably laterally and then maybe back. But the games I watched him play, everything was coming forward on him. And I was like, dang, yeah. But see, I didn't see a guy that was like there's certain body types and certain ways of guys moving that they look like a free safety. That's a free safety. That's a guy that can line up single high and turn and then go vertically or go at an angle and cover somebody.
Center fielder. That's more Jalen Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. There's a guy like at LSU. LSU has a guy named Halsey.
I love A.J. Halsey.
Okay, Wolchuk, why do you like A.J. Halsey?
So 2 years ago, if you watch him at Houston, he's a ball hawk. You see him range in coverage. He's playing backside, sideline to sideline now, but he's
looks more like a free safety.
He does. Now, at LSU, he looked more like a strong safety.
Exactly.
They asked him to be downhill. He's thumping people. He's got, honestly, size-wise, he has a Roy Williams body type.
Yeah.
He really does. But he can cover so much better because you say Roy Williams, people are like, oh, my God, ball over the top. He can't move. He can't flip his hips. Halsey can do that, and he ran so much better than people expected. He's my third best safety behind Downs and Thieneman. I've got Halsey ahead of McNeil Warren. I'm a huge fan of A.J. Halsey.
Yeah. And Wheatley, huh?
I got Bud Clark ahead of Wheatley, too.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna have some...
But it's nothing against Wheatley. I just think this is a really good safety draft.
See, I'm not opposed to, if I'm the Cowboys, even adding these two guys. That's why I asked you the questions about would you just go get a straight corner that could play? And you said
with Terrell
would be that guy.
Yeah. If you want just a straight nickel corner, he might be the best.
But to your point, and you quickly said, which I think is accurate, these guys are on like 1-year deals. Mm-hmm. Are you going to pass on one of these? Are you going to pass on one of these hybrid players for a guy like Terrell? Might be better than the hybrid safeties.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, he's.
So if you draft somebody like Terrell, or is there another corner that you would draft off your board that would be better than one of your hybrid safeties?
The specific nickel
to play the nickel.
No, because I think Delane's an outside guy. I think McCoy and Hood are outside guys.
All right, Moses Logan, I hope we made it work better for you.
You'd start to talk about like Chandler Rivers at Duke, D'Angelo Pons at Indiana.
That's what I would say. Rivers and Duke, both shorter guys.
Yeah.
both in the 5'10" range.
Yeah, those are guys that, and maybe Chris Johnson from San Diego State. I think he's more of an outside guy.
You guys might be right about Chris Johnson.
I do think he's got the ability, especially with his skill set, to possibly kick inside and play some nickel for you.
You guys like Pons and some of those guys better than Keontae Scott?
I got
Scott playing strong safety.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like Keontae Scott as a nickel player. I've got him in the third round, top of the third.
Okay.
But I just wonder if they're going to. Do they have their?
You don't have a true nickel corner.
No, you don't have that guy that
That's
Christian
what I'm
Parker
saying.
wants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I still like this Kyle Lewis fella from Pitt.
He's fun.
Kyle Lewis is a lot of fun. And matter of fact, man, Voch Lombardi and I were talking about it this morning on the Doing All Right. With Lewis, with the additions of these safeties, or we knew about the one safety. We didn't know we were going to get the second safety. But the addition of the safety we were talking about, that Lewis is a linebacker,
right,
who projects as a safety. And we were trying to think about where to put him in relation.
I mean, I would just play him at linebacker.
You would just play him at linebacker?
I would.
At 6 foot, 224?
Yeah, I get he's smaller. I mean, hell, Torian York's even tinier than that.
I mean, couldn't he be like your kind of your star hybrid dude?
He could be.
See, some of these players that they're talking about, these ain't players that you take at 12 and 20. These are not players you take at 12 and 20. So the Cowboys got a lot to think about, and they could probably maximize. Yeah, I think the thing is, Miss Matrix, CD and Dax restructured. I think Kenny's been done. I think the player that they're waiting, and we'll see tomorrow, because I think if they do something with Quentin Williams, like rework his contract, I think it is possible that the Cowboys could be making a big move. But I'm not sure if the Cowboys are moving like that yet. We're going to see. We're going to see how they're moving. Miss Matrix says, Sam Howell here, what they do with the number 3 quarterback spot, because all we know, that's predetermined, no competition. I think that they're saying that Sam Howell is actually going to compete with Joe Milton. I really think the Cowboys are saying that he's going to compete with Joe Milton, because I don't think they like what they saw from Joe Milton. Yeah, Mr. President says he don't think Osa was trash. He just think he didn't fit. I think so too. I just think they said he didn't fit. Yeah, because like I said, he's not really that guy that's a playmaker. You know, he's not that playmaker guy that he makes plays on his own. He needs to play off of other guys, especially really good ones. Miss Major said I would play Dono W at linebacker, Donovan Wilson at linebacker, actually. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think they need to replace him, though. I really do. All right, there was another thing on here. Let's check this out. There was something else I wanted us to check out before we got up out of here. But again, I just say overall, man, it's just, we're going to see. I really do think this may be a slow period for Cowboy fans, because when you think about it today, the Cowboys didn't really do a whole lot other than those, trading and restructuring contracts. So we're going to see what they do tomorrow. Or I should say today, we're going to see what they do today. Yeah, Doomsday, I agree with you. I do. I think Sam Howell is better than Joe Milton. I don't think they like what they saw last year. Joe Milton has a big arm, but he has no accuracy. He has a big arm, he has no accuracy. And that's a problem. He has no touch, he has no accuracy. That's a problem for him. Yeah, Chosen One. Yeah, they restructured Kenny. So the last one they got to really do is Quinnen. Quinnen needs to be an extension, though. Quentin Williams need to go ahead and knock that extension out and be done with that on him. You really do. Just knock that down and be done with it. Let's just do a couple of minutes of John Owing talk about
As Pro
Sean
Football
Gary.
Focus's John Owing joins us now here on The Fan to react to what's happening. What could happen next?
When you see the high pressure stats, they are a little bit, and he's also inevitably slows you down. The most effective and efficient is where he uses that inside hand as his long arm stab. And then as the offensive tackle is trying to mirror him up the arc, he'll use his momentum against him, push him
Nah,
up
I'm
the
with you, Miss
field and
Matrix.
take the inside move. and
I
that's
didn't
what he
like what I
does
saw
best.
from Joe Milton.
But I think the problem
People were overhyping this dude.
compared to when he was at his best and the most effective and efficient rushers.
Miss Matrix, do you remember the jokes? I mean, these were not even jokes. Do you remember the stuff that people were saying? I remember Michael Irvin. Dak Prescott better not get hurt. Dak Prescott better not get hurt. Because Milton come on the field, he'll never get his position back. I mean, people were saying all kinds of stuff about Joe Milton. Even Shady McCoy. Oh, the Cowboys got him one. They got him one in Joe Milton. He was saying the same stuff. He better not get hurt. He better not get hurt. He won't be get back on the field. Come on, man. Stop it. Now we're bringing in Sam Howell. That tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. There's no doubt about it.
Rushing to contact almost every single snap. So that inevitably puts a barrier or object in your way that you have to work through, and that inevitably slows you down. And that's why he's been among the leaguers in cleanup sacks, pursuit sacks, and he's also, interestingly enough, been among the league leaders in unblocked pressures. So when you see the high pressure stats, they're not really telling the full story of his lack of pass rush effectiveness over the last couple of years. But I think getting back to work with BT Jordan, putting him in a scheme that's going to put him in better opportunities to get after the passer, and on a team that has so much talent on the inside that is going to take the majority of offense is going to take the majority of the attention from opposing offenses, so it should allow him to get singled up a little bit more. I think he can return to be a little bit better of a more effective and efficient pass rusher with the Cowboys. So I think there's some optimism there, but I think what he really helps the most is the run defense. He's improved into becoming a really, really solid run defender, sets a strong edge. He's actually super, super effective as a backside chase defender against zone runs. His tape is really littered with examples, and I posted a bunch on my Twitter of him chasing down plays from behind as the unblocked backside chase defender on those zone runs. He's really good at them. He can penetrate a little bit because he has some quickness and stuff like that. So I think he's someone who definitely raises – I think my buddy Cody Alexander at Match Quarters said it best when he raises the floor of the entire run defense, and that's what this move.
They must have these guys working from home. I just noticed that. Are they working from home, or is that the studio? Okay, maybe they're working in the studio. No, they're working in the studio, aren't they? Because I see behind Wolchuk, I see the black guy over there to the right. Okay, that's their office. Okay.
It was kind of just raising the floor of the Cowboys' ability to defend the run and really shoring up that area, in my opinion.
Do you think he's clearly better than Clowney?
I do think he's better than Clowney. I just think he has a wider range of plays he can make. He's a little bit better of an athlete at this point. I think Clowney is actually him are very similar in the ways they rush the pass, or at least in their effectiveness. If you go back and watch a lot of Clowney's production with the Cowboys, it wasn't things that he was winning immediately. It was, he's chasing down plays from behind. He's using effort. He's using his vertical linear speed to make plays, and I think Gary is very similar at that, but he's a little bit more bendy. He has some impressive film on tape of him cutting some tight corners, so I think that gives him a little bit of an added ability that maybe Clowney doesn't have.
So how do you see the Cowboys front right?
So Rashawn Gary is basically the Jadeveon Clowney upgrade. Okay, I see what they're doing. They're almost the same player, but younger, a lot more or a little bit more bend, can do a few more things that maybe Clowney isn't able to do. I guess that's what they're saying. I get it. I get it what they're saying now.
Now, I mean, if you're going starting left to right, and the fit for Osa has been a big topic of conversation.
If we're talking about base, when they're playing, with their 3-4 spacing, 4-3 spacing, and their 3-4 front, I think obviously the two edge defenders right now are from left to right. The first edge defender is probably going to be Donovan Ezeraku, and then you got the 5 technique or 4-eye, depending on what the offense's formation and personnel is. I think that's something that Osa Odighizuwa can actually do very well. He fits the body type and length profile that the Fangio guys have liked at that spot. I mean, he profiles very, very similar to Byron Young from a size, length point of view, and that's who played a lot of the 5-tech 4-eye for the Eagles. I think he has the length and the ability to do that role actually pretty well. Maybe I'm in the minority. It seems like maybe with these trade talks that maybe the Cowboys are a little bit dubious on his fit, or maybe Osa doesn't like the fit in the defense. I'm not sure, but I personally think that he fits the defense just fine, and he could be very effective there, especially because they're going to be playing mostly in nickel with those 9-3 2-eye 9 spacing, where you have the 2 edge defenders in 9s, and then the 2 defensive tackles are in 3 and 2-eye techniques. So I think that he could do that really well. At the 1 technique or 2-eye, I think that would be Kenny Clark. At the 3, or he can kind of scoot over to 4-eye depending on the look, is Quinnen Williams, and I think that's still we coming off the Eberflus year where they talked about the 3 technique being the most important part of the defense. Now, I don't think it's that important in Christian Parker's defense, but that player who's going to play the 3 is always going to be extremely vital to a defensive scheme and a defensive front. I think that's why you saw Jalen Carter doing that stuff last year, and you saw him. They give their 3 techniques on occasion some special rules where they can one gap and shoot up the field, and you'll see guys like Carter did that last year, and he had a lot of success. And I think you could do similar things with Quinnen Williams. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of stance they have Quinnen Williams in this year. Is he going to be more of the front loaded, or is he going to be playing a little bit more on his back, or is it going to be a hybrid between the 2, or is he going to play both just in different situations? I'm very interested to see that. And then at the other edge is going to be, I think, obviously, Rashawn Gary is going to be that strong side edge who's going to be playing, the 9 techniques, or he can be playing the 6 as a head up on the tight end, maybe a 7 with a slight inside shade on the tight end, stuff like that. I think he fits that role extremely well. He can set the strong edge against the run. He can bully tight ends in the running game, and hopefully he'll be able to get some of that pass rush effectiveness back from earlier in his career.
It's John Owning, Pro Football Focus, here with you on the Fan Reacting Cowboys free agency. Who helps more, you think, the Denver safety, P.J. Locke, or the Chargers nose the Cowboys signed Otito Ogbonnia there at nose tackle?
I mean, as things stand right now, I think it's going to be P.J. Locke just because he's going to get more opportunities to play, and he's going to have a bigger role playing. Potentially, if the Cowboys are playing a lot of nickel, he could be one of the 2 safeties while Jalen Thompson is playing your nickel role, potentially. So I think that P.J. Locke probably has a little bit of a clearer path to a role and a little bit of an easier ability to impact the game on a down-by-down basis. Now, I do like what Ogbonnia brings to the table as a run defender. I posted a lot of clips of him being really good against gap and man schemes, and the ability to take on double teams, the ability to be able to play gap and a half where you're setting up on one edge, using your length, peeking on one side, and when the ball crosses your face, you cross over and try to make the tackle, or try to get on the tackle shed and make the tackle. So he's effective in those areas, but I think he's going to be battling Jay Toya for that kind of backup reserve defensive tackle role. So I think
I'm really wondering about Jay Toya. He's got to make a move this year. Tito Ogbonnia is going to push him out too.
I think his path to impact is a little bit less clear just as things stand right now. I think P.J. Locke's ability, he has some really impressive reps where he's playing split safety and showing some crazy range, stuff like that. He also does some really good things from the box from a coverage perspective. I like the way he plays play action, the way he navigates through traffic and attacks flat defenders. He plays top down in coverage really good. Gets in a little bit of trouble when he has to play man and he gets in those trail situations because he's not the most athletic defender, especially in trail situations, so he can lose a little bit of his gap, so he can't turn his head and locate the ball, so he kind of has to play through the hands, and it's kind of difficult with their head turned, so he gets in a little bit of trouble in situations like that. But I think he's solid. He's going to definitely make an impact on special teams as well, so I think that adds to his ability to be a little bit more impactful than Double O.
When they hired Christian Parker, one of
yeah, but he's going on and on about other things, but I think Rashawn Gary's going to be fine for the Cowboys. He definitely lifts the floor. Miss Matrix, it's funny you're asking about my the other channel. I've been telling my wife I've been slipping because I got to go live on that channel. And I'm trying to decide on the time, Miss Matrix, of when to go live on that channel. Because I like to do the Cowboys anywhere between 4 and 6. I want to try to get solidified at 4 p.m. So I'm like, do I want to do the G Sports Nation at noon Monday, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Or do I want to do the G Sports Nation late on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Do I want to do it late so I can cover some of these stories that I haven't had a chance to cover yet? So I'm going to do better. You tell me what you think. You know, late on that channel, or should I do noon? I was thinking about doing noon. That's what I've been leaning towards, is doing noon, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And going about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and see how it goes. But I was telling my wife just today, I got to do better on that. Mr. President said Wilson is just playing out of position. Hear me out when I say Donovan needs to be close to the ball, which he had good success with him playing that way. I don't know if he's going to be able to play like that with Christian Parker, but we're going to see. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Donovan Wilson is gone. Malik Hooker is the one that we still have. Yeah, Donovan Wilson is gone. Anthony Robinson, he said it the same. NFC East running strong. Stop it. Yeah. It's going to be tough. And I'm telling you, man, that 3-4 defense, the thing about that 3-4 defense is once you get it going, it's great. But it takes, man, it's like building a helicopter with that 3-4 defense, man. It takes time to get that thing off the ground. Because that 3-4 defense is really so dependent upon having some really good D linemen and some very versatile D linemen and some very athletic linebackers. I mean, I'm just telling us, that's why a lot of people don't run it. It's hard enough to find 3 linebackers. 4? Man, that is hard to do. Not only do you have to find 4 linebackers, you have to find 6 to 7 linebackers because you're going to need the depth at the position. So it really puts you in a situation to where you got to be real heavy at linebacker. I mean, you at least got to be, what would you think, 7 deep? I mean, you at least have to be 7 deep on linebacker. I mean, you got 4 linebackers. You got to have at least 2 alternates. I would say 3, nevertheless 2. So you at least got to be 6 deep on any given Sunday. Yeah, Miss Matrix, I'm a late night person too. I know exactly what you're talking about. You homeschool your kids. Okay, good. And your free time is late at night. Yep, I see you on that. I see you on that. Isn't Rolando McClain? I'm trying to think, is he the guy I'm thinking about that was really good, but he just never could seem to get that consistency going? Is that the Rolando McClain? I'm going to have to look that up. All right. All right, guys, we're going to be back today because I can't call it tomorrow. We're going to be back today. We are going to be back today. I am pretty sure for some reason, I believe that there are going to be some more moving and shaking by the Dallas Cowboys today. I'm probably going to get up around 9 o'clock. I hope I can get up earlier. But I'm not going to be surprised that around 7 or 8 o'clock, we're getting some more news. We're getting some more news. And the Cowboys are probably doing something else. So right now where I'm leaning with the Cowboys until they show me something different. You know, people say trust the process. Well, I'm going to add something to that. It's okay to check the progress of the process. It's okay to check the progress of the process. That don't mean that you're not trying to watch you don't want to let the process play out. Yeah, you do want to let the process play out. But as in anything, you got to check the progress of the process. You got to keep checking in. And this is one of the problems with Jerry Jones. Because Jerry Jones is the GM, well, nobody checks in on his progress. He's the GM that can't be fired, so he just gets to tell everybody, trust the process. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to bust the budget. Then he gets to come back later on and say, well, this is what I meant by that. No other GM gets that luxury. If another GM was telling you trust the process, if another GM was telling you that, by mid-season, we'd be checking out the progress going, this is trash. I want y'all to think about this. The Cowboys had 2 7-win seasons back-to-back. Any other team, GM. Any other team, GM fired. Fired. Any other team, the GM is fired. So, again, it's okay to watch it's okay to check in on the progress of the process. It's okay to question it at this point of the season. It's the off season. What else do we have to do? Ain't no football being played. There's no football being played. So this is a part of the off season. You know, we're going to have fun doing it. And Miss Matrix and anybody else, y'all don't have to worry about it. I am not going to be flooding you with mock draft after mock draft after mock. I just can't. It is so tiring to do that stuff. And just going off of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and a lot of stuff don't even turn out to be right on none of them mock drafts. None of it all turn out to be right. So, again, we'll be back at it again today. And we're going to see what will the Cowboys do next. I can tell you this. I'm excited. I know y'all are. And I think the Cowboys are building something great. And just because we're questioning the progress don't mean we're being negative. We just want to question the progress so that we can understand what they're doing. Bottom line. So we're going to keep watching, and we're going to continue to be Cowboys fans because we're Cowboy fans for life. Amen? Amen. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night until the next time. DC4L. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace. Oh.